So hold our heads up high and beat the drum to what we love. Risk the fall, we have felt it all come crashing down from far above. Stars are rising, countless worlds colliding, only one will take it all. Can we bring to fall the giants? Can we make the final call? We are the ones to ignite the darkened skies, the champions of the world that we defy. The solar ray of the few who rise up high, and we all fight at the last
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Blue Otter League. We are here in the Platinum season looking at the mid-season tournament here. We're going to be casting the right side of the bracket with this first match being between TA Spectre and GSG Sigma. I'm Yarko here in the booth with Feedonomics. How you doing today, Feed?
Mid-season tournament, mid-season tournament, mid-season tournament. I'm excited. Can you tell that I'm excited? It's March Madness season. There are a lot of tournaments going on right now. I'm ready to get immersed in tournaments. So I'm very excited. I can be excited, right?
Yeah, definitely. We got a little bit of a bracket going on here. Two teams already getting to the quarterfinals by virtue of getting buys, UCF Lancers and the Undying Tyrants. But for the time being, we're looking to see how this bracket is going to play out from the top side here. GSG Sigma doing pretty darn well throughout the regular season. They are standing at the 5 seed, but they are going up against TA Spectre, who managed to clinch one above them on that 4 seed right there. So this is definitely looking to be a pretty darn close game.
Yeah, definitely gonna be a fun one to watch. I'm pretty sure that it's just divided by one game as far as point totals are concerned. So it's not like it's going to be that big of a gap between the 4 and 5 seed. And I'm ready to watch a lot of fun stuff come out. Looking at picks and bans right now, looks like we get a first pick Seraphine maybe. Let's see if it locks in. I mean, we were kind of talking about off the broadcast on how we were enjoying D's or dealing with casting Seraphine, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sarah.
and it got locked in.
Yes, this is great to see. I really do love Seraphine just because A, she's a fantastic flex pick where you can put her in either the mid or support role. But furthermore, she's also just really exciting to watch kind of do what she does best, which is drop a big encore, get a lot of people charmed, and get a fight really swimmingly started. So, in my opinion, this is a really, really good start coming from this side. Coming from this side of TA Spectre.
Yeah, and it looks like we're gonna get the bot lane for GSG Sigma really quick locked in. Like I said, we didn't really go over the first three bans for each sides of the team. So TA Spectre banning out Aurelia, Vigar, and Gwen. While on the side of GSG Sigma, we had Jinx, Trundle, and Volibear getting banned out. So slightly different banning ideologies on both sides of the board. It looks like, and Caitlyn getting locked in. So the question is to you, really quick: where do you think Seraphine's gonna go?
I think that TA Spectre is probably going to be putting Seraphine into the hands of Snow Life there in the bot lane. The recent changes that she had to her W coming through in patch 12.5 has made her just much more effective there as a support, getting that boost from being in a duo lane. And while we have seen Seraphine mid utilized to great effect even after this nerf kind of came through for the mid Seraphine build, usually what happens is that the mid player will still build her into the Moonstone Renewer followed by Staff of Flowing Water. And I think that locking in such a supportive mid laner so early on in the draft just doesn't really speak to me, especially given the way that GSG Sigma is beginning to build up their roster.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's a good thought. Now, looking on the side of GSG, they did block in their bot lane almost not immediately with those first two picks, Janna and Ash, followed up with a most likely jungle Hecarim. Mordekaiser because they just didn't want to deal with him in the top lane. That's what I'm gonna think on that one.
Yeah, and we're getting a little bit of a Lux hover here on the side of TA Spectre, and that will in fact be locked in here. Yeah, I think that this probably does shift the playing field for Feedonomics to become more of a Lux Caitlyn dynamic in the bot side of the map, while Seraphine will in fact take that mid lane and just play safe. This is just because there's just such fantastic synergy between champions with snares like Lux and Morgana, and the Caitlyn being able to place a trap right under them and get a continued CC chain going. A lot of big burst potential coming out, and I like the fact that this pivot has been made, given the fact we get that early lock-in of the Janna into the lane. It means that you have two squishies that you can equally gun for in order to try to get some burst down and get some damage out. So really smart pivot here, followed up by the Olaf just to add a little bit more beefiness to their front line alongside the Ornn. This seems like a very, very solid composition coming through for TA Spectre. That being said, let's not discount the Shen that was the early lock-in on the second half for GSG Sigma, and that will be followed up by yet again another incredibly solid pick there in that Victor. This choice really reads to me like they are going to be trying to exploit Seraphine's relatively weak early game and just allow for that Victor to farm up, really become a huge source of damage. And when combined with the fact that he's able to play a little bit more aggressively, especially when Shen ultimate is up, we can be seeing some real explosive plays in there in the mid lane from GSG Sigma.
I'm not going to disagree with you there, but I am going to put in a sort of counterpoint. There are a lot of ways for Seraphine to land her root just with the single cast. If she synergizes well with her team. And the gank at level, 3 or 4 kind of looks pretty scary for Victor as well, because if he gets hit by an undertow, then and gets stunned up, he's gonna have to burn his flash.
Yeah, that's definitely true, and I think that maybe we will be seeing Tyrant Rex on the Olaf pivot towards that mid lane in order to try to catch them out as you're talking about Feedonomics. So a lot of back and forth here. It's definitely going to be a very interesting matchup where a lot of simultaneous skill checks will go on between the two teams. Seraphine obviously needs to land her ultimate, but similarly, Janna needs to be able to just sustain through the lane against the explosive kill combo of the Lux and Caitlyn, while also trying to free up a little bit of time utilizing her passive movement speed to roam up towards that mid lane, get a bit of support down onto the Victor. Similarly, Shen's really going to have a lot of great understanding of map movement and rotation in order to best utilize Stand United. YYDS has played this champion before and has had some relatively good success here in the Blue Otter League. So coming back to this champion, especially in this tournament setting, really exciting to see.
Like I said, not in disagreement. Now, looking kind of at a broader specter, you can see where I'm going with this. Looking at a broader picture, how do you feel like team fights are going to play out for both of these teams?
Yeah, I think it kind of continues that sense of skill test that I'm talking about. Seraphine really needs to position well, get a solid encore off, and if that occurs and you follow that up with the CC that's able to be dropped by Lux, you can have just massive swings in favor of TA Spectre. This is especially the case as the game continues onwards and Ornn begins to drop those upgraded items, because it'll just allow for Lux to really maximize her damage output alongside the Caitlyn. Meanwhile, GSG Sigma, I think that they have to play a little bit more reserved until these initial engages come out. If they could get a pick before fights around these neutral objectives, this would spell a huge boon for their team, as once you get the CC out of the way, their engage and their power in team fights is very, very strong. Janna, great peel options, has the ability to further kind of mess around with the positioning of opponents, either with her ultimate or her tornadoes. Meanwhile, Hecarim, as I said before, just a monstrous champion right now. Fantastic at basically every level. Their onslaught of shadows could just really turn the tide of team fights and isolate certain members of the enemy team to allow for an easy and swift victory for GSG.
I mean, but you know that Olaf, not only does he not care about the end of the world, he also doesn't care about CC for points and times. So, if there are some really well-timed Ragnaroks, then he could just not worry about any of the peel that Janice tries to throw at him, or just shrug off an arrow from Ash like entirely. So we'll see what happens here. I kind of like the side of Spectre's draft more than I like the side of GSG's. I feel like Victor is too greedy with his upgraded items because he keeps all of them, while Orin distributes them to the rest of the team like a team player. Uh,
Yeah, I mean that's definitely true. And I think that one of the really solid synergies that we see coming through for TA Spectre here that also kind of has me leaning in their favor is the fact that Lux is a champion that in the support role is a rather greedy choice into most compositions, right? Because you want to build damage onto her, especially given the fact that you have Fossil Dyna in the mid lane on that Seraphine who will be going more supportive. So with that in mind, Ornn will just kind of help to keep her at parity with the rest of the team in terms of like gold income, just by virtue of giving her an upgraded loot in Zeko or similar.
rapid fire guessing moment. Who do you think gets the first upgraded item on the side of TA
It really depends who gets the most fed. I would imagine that it's probably going to be going over to the Caitlyn though, either in the force of an upgraded Gale Force or Kraken Slayer. Given the fact that there is such a huge kill combo potential on the bot side of the map, and if Snow Life manages to land their Qs, I think that we will in fact be seeing a nice solid package of gold going over early to Paneer on the Caitlyn, and in turn that will allow for a mythic rush. It'll kind of emphasize the focal point for where TAS should play around, and in turn that means that Ornn is going to be dropping that first item there.
Okay. All right. I mean, that's a fair guess. I'm gonna go wild card. And I'm gonna say it's gonna go to the jungle.
Ooh, okay.
I think Rex is just gonna get gigantic this game. I feel like first blood happens mid lane with Fossil and him teaming up to stun Victor and get a quick summoner spell. And perhaps, you know what? Wild me is gonna say there's a double kill in the mid lane, like early.
Ooh,
That's my Nostradamus prediction of the game.
that is quite the Nostradamus prediction. You think that pre six, Gassiop and Epic Champion are both going to fall?
Yeah, no,
Okay.
exactly. I think that's what I'm saying. Like, why don't you let me bury myself further, Narco? This is great.
Well, I just think it's an interesting call against the Hecarim of all champions. Once you get that first clear through and you're looking for plays across the map, Hecarim can really turn the tide of fights. And I'm just a little bit wary about that prediction just because I literally casted yesterday a Hecarim run mid after like getting bot Scuttle Crab, fight, get the 2v1 off, pick up that double kill, walk top, get the second Scuttle Crab back and dominate the rest of the game. He's a scary, scary horsey boy.
I mean, I don't. I've never really liked horses. They've always been too big. Like anytime that I've been near them, like
Yo, I'm terrified of horses, but that just makes
they're
me
way too
all
big.
the more worried that.
I mean, I guess I suppose. And Hecarim is a very spooky horse. That being said, stream, we're gonna sit there and we're gonna compose ourselves. We're gonna get all the heebie-jeebies out of being afraid of horses, and we're gonna let the spec display like tick down a little bit further, and we will see you guys again back when the game is started. Thank you for tuning in to BOL mid-season tournament. Oh my god, I'm so excited!
Welcome back, everyone, to the Blue Otter League. We are here in the mid-season tournament, watching a round between TA Spectre and GSG Sigma take place. Huge grouping of TA Spectre here on the top side of the map. They're really looking for this early kill.
I might
in
be
hand.
wrong.
Yeah, YYDS gonna be caught out here. There's the Q landing, and everyone's just gonna dogpile on. That is an X-Shen to start off the match. 1-0 for TA Spectre.
Did I call first blood to the jungler though? Does it count? Does it still count?
Sure, we'll give it to you, Feed. We'll give it to you,
Feed. Half a point, we're good.
Half a point in this imaginary scoring system that we got going.
Yeah, I'm keeping score. Yeah. What are you talking about? I got a spreadsheet and everything.
Yeah, that definitely was a solid start there for TA Spectre. They have that Lux Q early on, and that just means that Shen had nowhere to go. YYDS not even able to expend Flash, which may honestly be a blessing in disguise for the time being. We will see a pretty standard start from both sides. Tyrant Rex able to get to their red buff as soon as it spawns in here. Double leash on the bot side of the map. Besides that kill feedonomics, what else are you calling for here in the early game?
I don't know. I you got to give me a minute. You can't rush art. That's always what I like to say. Can't rush art.
You can't predict while things are happening, though. You got to predict early. Otherwise, it's not a prediction.
I just did. Okay, so next kill is actually going to be like the YYDS redemption arc.
Okay. And
Hecarim and him are going to kill Corrin in the top lane.
Okay, I definitely see that. We do have that bot side start for Gasyop there on the Hecarim. Going to be able to path top and look for a gank first after going for what probably is going to be a full clear here. Meanwhile, bot side of the map, some trades coming through. Pepsi of Time walking up pretty far against Snowlife, who really wants this bush control down here. Just the classic kind of matchup that you're seeing. I think that we're probably going to be seeing 376 and Pepsi of Time really start to cede away some of the pressure here. That is going to be a Q landing. Ash W in return, though, and we see 376 utilize their glacial augment runes alongside the tornado to prevent the side of Paneer from walking forward further.
Snowlife did whiff on the Q that he tried to throw out there, but they're definitely taking control of the bottom lane right now, it feels like.
Oh yeah, that damage really coming through for the side of TA Spectre, and we see first strike Lux as well, which is only going to kind of increase the damage output here. Yet another snare going to land right there. 376 taking quite the beating.
75% of the snares so far, I think, unless we missed one that was thrown while we weren't looking that way.
That's what we should have placed bets on, you know, the number of snares versus tornadoes hit.
I'm not going to be able to count that the whole game, though.
Oh, me neither. No way I'm doing that. But the fact you were giving count made me think for a second that maybe...
Mine is a tangible way, though. Mine's tangible. Oh, no!
Snowlife picking up one, Paneer picking up the other. That's the power of the Lux-Caitlyn duo.
Yeah, that was really strong. Not a lot you can do there other than die, but it does look like we have Hecarim attempting a gank.
Yeah, this seems a little bit eager. We do have Paneer pretty low, gonna run forward. Kind of interesting position right there. I don't know if Snowlife didn't have anything up, but that will be a kill traded back over to the side of GSG Sigma. You know, honestly, I could have seen Snowlife maybe body block that or something. That felt a little bit too passive from the side of
I don't know.
Spectre.
I actually like that play. You already have the kill advantage, and if you split which way you're escaping, then the double kill is less potentially going to happen, right?
I guess that's true, yeah. YYDS taking quite a bit of poke up here on the top lane against Corrin, who on that Ornn is really beginning to get this wave built up. They do have Grasp of the Undying matched with what YYDS has as their runes, which means that they're able to sustain through a lot of the abuse and poke that they'll be taking for playing against the Shen. Ooh. Wow, 376 getting poked once more here. I don't even think that they were able to back with much in the way of items, just given how early that double kill came through for the bot side. Paneer walking forward. Tyrant Rex is in the area. That is Axe's dropped. In turn, we see the exhaust go down onto the Olaf, which means that the fight will end there. But once again, Pepsi of Time and 376 heavily pressured here. A lot of damage down on those two champions. And given the pressure coming through for Snowlife, I think that this will probably just mean another force back and more time for Caitlyn to farm up.
Yeah, no, more time for Caitlyn just to sort of sit there in her free little island of a lane. and no summoners burned on the side of TA Spectre yet for their ADC, while Ashe had to use both of hers on Pepsi at time.
Yeah, we see Bella's Breath coming out there and more damage being put down onto the Shen, but both of these champions, honestly, so tanky before items really come through, given the fact that they both went Grasp and both profit very heavily from these like short trades. But now, Hecarim in the area, Khorne gonna have to flash back towards their tower here. That will be a summoner gone, but the life preserved for that Ornn topside.
Another good Q onto them.
Yeah, that's the problem with casting this duo, though. It's like always a play going through because any Q landed can mean a burst down and kill for the side of TA Spectre here. Oh, and there's one. Speaking of, yeah,
that was just really, really well thrown. Like it's getting bad out there for the side of GSG. Like Snow Life is definitely going mad with these like roots.
Yeah, and we were talking Feedonomics about the fact that this is very much a skill check lane there on the bot side, and it looks like that skill is playing through for Snow Life as big fight topside. Oh my goodness, that rushed ultimate coming through for Fossil Dyna. That will be YYDS killed, and Khorne is going to get a second one down onto Gasyop. Huge kills coming through on the top side for TA Spectre. They go up 5-1.
This is looking grim for the side of GSG Sigma already. Just really good coordination of abilities here. The Ram pulling through to finish off the Hecarim.
Yeah, definitely. And while Fossil Dyna definitely getting bullied a little bit by the Epic Champion, you really got to look at that gold lead beginning to grow pretty strongly in favor of TA Spectre this early on. With some of that income now going over to the Seraphine after those kills topside, I think that what we're going to have to look at from here on out is whether or not Seraphine is just going to be able to kind of equalize that item deficiency or power deficiency that you see early on. Gasyop coming bot side, but going to be spotted out on this ward. I think that Paneer and Snow Life are going to play a little bit safe, but not even back. They are so confident in the way this thing plays out.
I think they might try to be baiting out something so that Tyrant could head over, but it doesn't look like Gasyop's gonna bite. Yeah, he's just gonna go back up and clear his wolves.
And I think they're playing passive. Yeah, and I think that playing passive here is really not a terrible choice for GSG Sigma. A lot of these coin flippy early fights have not gone in their way, and right there they didn't really have a lot of vision of where Tyrant Rex was already at that Iron Spike whip 2-0. That's a very powerful champion to bring to any lane right here. Big trades going on the top side. Khorne getting damage down where they can, but with no flash up, YYDS is going to chase them down. Bella's Breath coming out, but that will be a solo bolo over to the side of GSG Sigma.
There's your top lane redemption arc, just a little too late.
your
one more moment of tragedy.
Yeah, your shot calls have been like pretty solid in terms of they encapsulate things that do happen. They just may be a little bit temporally messed up.
Well, you know, it's okay. I'll still take it, right?
Yeah.
If I were a gambling man.
If you were a gambling man, yeah. And what I really like about this solo kill and the fact YYDS is playing so strongly on the top side of the map is that this income will allow for them to try to reassert a little bit of pressure in the lane and just generally get more priority that will allow for better stand uniteds to come through. If big ganks go down elsewhere, he will be able to now jump into the fray of things and hopefully turn something around for the side of GSG Sigma.
Oh, speaking of onto the side, never mind. I take it back. How are you doing today, Narco?
I'm doing quite well. That was a little bit forward for Khorne right there. I think that even with that hitting, I don't really think that he was ever close enough to really put a lot of pressure down. And given the fact that YYDS was looking to back anyways, maybe a wasted ult from the side of the Ornn.
I don't know. I think if Ornn could have gotten one or two shots off, then Snow Life could have taken. Oh no!
In the world! God, I guess whenever the camera comes down here, you just gotta let me talk, because Paneer just bursting out the Janna right there. That will be a kill, traded back the Epic Champion. Yeah, taking a little bit of damage, but that will be Stand United to save him. Wow. Big movement of GSG Sigma to stop the bleeding right there, but now we see Snow Life returning to the area. I think that they're going to have to play a little bit further back, though, as we see Olaf crossing through mid lane. Gassiop going to use this opportunity to engage. Oh, the Lux a little bit too far up. Onslaught of Shadows at point blank range is going to seal the deal right there. Another solo kill going over to the side of GSG Sigma. They're really trying to get back into this one.
Yeah, they're crawling back. Kind of just TA Spectre not really respecting
Yeah.
the power that early game champions can have. Yeah, speaking of not respecting things,
Yeah.
here you are in your enemy's jungle just going, you know, I'm gonna borrow your chickens, you don't need them.
Yeah, and luckily that one allowed for Timer Rest to get out without expending as much as a summoner spell, but definitely could be a scary situation if they were on a separate champion right there. I would like to see a little bit reservedness coming out of TA Spectre right now. There aren't any neutral objectives up, and because that's the case, I feel that playing super far forward without guaranteed kills or pressure just kind of feels like a waste of their resources.
Another thing that I've noticed though is Pepsi's like, oh, there you go. The revenge kill. The revenge kill. It was the Lux combo. It was just the Lux combo. It was really well timed autos and passive procs.
I guess so. Yeah, that's going to be a kill.
Narco.
Yeah, that's going to be a kill picked up for the side of TA Spectre right there. I just thought that was going to be a regular old trade. I did not expect that damage to be dropped by Snow Life, able to continuously proc their passive to get that last little bit of damage in order to pick up that solo kill against the Hecarim. You see mid lane, Victor getting a little bit more priority, going to just ward the Raptors on the side of TA Spectre in order to make sure that Olaf is not in the area. Wow. This is quite the game to start things off here in the mid-season tournament.
It was a good idea. It was a good idea to choose this one. Oh!
No way. Ultimate going to be dropped. That is going to be Janna responding in kind with an ult of their own. Neither of them will fully connect and allow for Ashe to die here, but so much pressure, so much kill pressure. Yeah.
And I mean, looking at it though, you already have Snow Life sitting on their Lost Chapter, an extra amplifying tome, and 2 stacks on their Dark Seal. So they are definitely well learned in the Magic VP as they're taking down the first tower. There it is.
Yeah, first tower going over to the side of TA Spectre, as now we see Gassiop in a little bit of trouble here. Snow Life landing 1 Q and going to be able to get their E as well, but that binding will not translate into a dead horse. We now have 376 coming back. Ultimate being dropped. I don't know why he walked back into River, and now Olaf gonna drop that Ragnarok, go unstoppable, and try to get damage down, but the shielding coming through. 376 saving the life of their jungler right there. That was a little bit over aggressive once more. TA Spectre losing their jungler for that fight. Although that being said, we do have a nice pincer movement coming through for the blue side. It looks like a lot of GSG Sigma are going to try to find a back time here.
Yeah, no, Spectre should just play safely. Well,
force forward. That is going to be E dropped into Encore. Paneer going to pick up a kill against Victor. That is Chaos Storm also burnt up by the mid laner there on the side of GSG Sigma. That is going to be one traded back for TA Spectre now as they continue to pile on the gold lead.
Yeah, no, like the lead is just increasing objectives right now. A big problem on the side of GSG Sigma. They are down all 3 first towers now at this point. Sort of just hemorrhaging gold through that. Like first brick, followed up by top lane being left alone whenever YYDS like teleported down. So kind of looking at it, and then the dragon fell to them. So just really good job on TA Spectre to make sure that they're prioritizing like objectives.
Yeah, and with the amount of priority they're getting from all those tier 1s falling, it's going to be difficult for GSG Sigma to really contest. Given the fact that this is a best of 1 series, I think that we're going to have to see some pretty dramatic play coming out of the red side here in order for GSG Sigma to try to get back into this one. Remember, no best of 3 here. This is a grueling best of 1 gauntlet, and one mistake can really cost you the tournament lives, as we're beginning to see here in round 1.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's not just from the side of Red that you need to see plays that you don't expect. You need to also see the plays from the side of TA Spectre. Like, it's just, you can't expect the unexpected, right? So just do what you can, and I don't know, I'm feeling really worried about Fossil right now.
Bit of a dive coming here on the top side. Fossil going to just get ran over by Gasyop after YYDS engages right there. Solid distribution of damage from either side, but YYDS may be in a little bit of trouble. Light Binding going to hit, and that will be the laser beam knocking out that top laner. Wow, this Lux just everywhere where they need to be to pick up the kills, get that gold on their side, and go for that full AP build. What's also interesting here, I think, is the fact that we aren't actually seeing Moonstaff Seraphine. They're just going to be building that Liandry's. I guess that given the fact they have those 5 assists, they have the income in order to do so here. They are down quite a bit of farm, though, against Victor, who already has their boots plus Liandry's finished. And it'll be interesting to see whether or not we can see some bit of scaling coming out of the side of GSG Sigma that might turn around some more fights.
Are we sure that Lux isn't going to get the first Forge item?
You know, it could happen. It really could happen, given the way things are going. But at the same time, look at what Paneer is doing whenever they are in fight. For the time being, they are farming up a storm. But if anyone comes into their lane, they don't trifle. They drop that Gale Force, they go forward, they try to get someone trapped, and they just ult people to death. It's absolutely absurd to see how much damage these players on the side of TA Spectre are able to put out so early on in this game. Second Rift Herald being taken now, gonna go over to TA Spectre. Gasyop getting binded once more here, but he has this whole team to back him up this time.
Yeah, like this time he's like, you know, if I get snared again, I'm bringing friends. Speaking of bringing friends, YYDS maybe in need of some friendly help here in a moment.
Yeah, we see a pretty big split in the team. Only 2 here on the top side of the map, which is going to allow for Paneer, Snowlife, and Tyrant Rex to really whittle down this tower. Ooh. There is a big arrow coming through, and that will be followed by Onslaught of Shadows. YYD is trying to get the damage down onto Paneer, who's going to flash away, using their net to continue to kite backwards. Oh, and Gasyop going down due to Lux laser beam here, and now Snowlight acting as the front lane, going to finally get whittled into nothingness as Victor rotates up. Teleport coming through though for Korn, who wants more here on the top side. There is the horn being blown. It's gonna try to go down onto YYDS. There comes the knockup, there comes the brittle, but no follow-up. The rest of the team just not around. A little bit wasted on the side of TA Spectre. They do get a pickup of a kill on the top side, but I do think that they are going for too many 1-for-1s right now.
Yeah, I don't also like sacrificing Snowlife right there. If only because you lose all the stacks that you were just working on. But that wasn't a full power fight from the side of TA Spectre. I'm wondering if an encore could have turned that in their favor.
Yeah, we saw Fossil Dyna just getting a big push there in the mid lane, so they weren't able to back up their comrades there. I do still think that clearly with that gold advantage, fights are going to be in favor of TA Spectre, but I have to respect GSG Sigma for playing scrappy. They know where to kind of push and pull. Once that Ash arrow came down onto Paneer, they knew that they had to go for that fight, and yet another person wiped off the map by Snowlife. Encore coming through, but it's a bit too split right now.
Paneer,
they're going to get chased down by Gasyop. Meanwhile, Paneer getting caught out on the other side. That is the kind of divide and conquer mentality that GSG Sigma are going to have, as no Snowlife really deep in enemy territory, going to be chased by so many members from GSG Sigma. All you gotta go for the execute here, the throw into binding, and we'll be able to catch Shen on that one, which means that I think that this will be a dead Lux. Going over to tower though, no more gold going through for GSG Sigma.
No life, more like no life in that situation there. But it's just, you know, spotted by that ward, like was too easy, but a good job to sit there and sacrifice themselves in suicide instead of giving any more gold.
Sure, but you really have to ask, Feed, why did that play even happen? What was the mentality that TA Spectre was looking for right there? That's a ton of gold returned over to the side of GSG Sigma, not to mention the Dragon. 3 dead, basically. 2 kills, sure, but 3 dead overall just meant that you're able to kind of reassert yourself on the map.
The fix was in. I got nothing. It was a really, really weird set of pathing by Paneer. Like, just walked out in front of Shin and Victor, basically to go, "Hello, I'm here." So you know, Vegas called the fixes in. That's my guess.
Yeah, most definitely. Well, we'll see whether or not TA Spectre will kind of continue this little streak of on and off fights here, or if they're finally going to be able to get a solid push together. We still see Paneer there with that Rift Herald in hand. They're going to look to try to drop it somewhere, and I'm sure that that will be the lane that will begin to see a coalescing of TA Spectre on. Hopefully they will actually try to force a full true-on team fight here. Light Binding going down, only going to hit the minions though. I think that they see a backing Gassiop here, and he will be picked off. And so that will allow for them to continue to push this move forward. Light Binding coming down, a lot of damage going on to YYDS, but he has full tank Shen. That will in turn be Fossil Dyna going down after a huge Ash Arrow comes through. Once again, more kills traded back on either side here. You really needed to look for something clean on the side of TA Spectre in order for them to actually begin to crack open this base for GSG Sigma. Meanwhile, though, movement to this Baron. They do have vision of this area, so GSG Sigma are going to come investigate. There's Ornhorn being blown. Paneer going to drop that ultimate, and here's the knockup that they might need. The big peel coming through for 376 though. With those tornadoes, they're going to allow for their team to slip into the jungle. Vision coming down. They will see YYDS, and the question will be, who are they going to catch out? Huge flank coming through for Korn though. Big knockup on a ton of different players right here. That is Lux ultimate whiffing onto Pepsi of Time, but he split away from the rest of the fight. They won't have a source of damage for this one. Gassiop back up, looking for more. Ragnarok being dropped by Tyrant Rex. That is going to allow for them to kill the Shen here, but I don't think it's going to be much more than a 1-for-0.
No, probably not. And alright, so it went to Caitlyn, like you said. It didn't go to Lux like I wanted. And that's fine. That's understandable. That's understandable. But now, upgraded Gale Force. These knockups from Korn, though.
Yeah, Korn just kind of face tanking the whole team, and given the fact that they're so up on gold on the side of TA Spectre, he's kind of able to do so. The damage is just not really there right now, especially with YYDS out of the picture, who could perhaps taunt and pull some people away from the rest of the team. Most of what is being focused on right now is TA Spectre and their ability to just really push forward and take fights where they so desire.
Yeah, no, it's just like willing walking straight and just knocking people up willy-nilly. Started with the knockup on Gassiop while he was sitting alone. Oh, another arrow, but this time Snow Life dodges it. I don't think they're making it out. Oh, I may be standing wrong.
Yeah.
All right.
Gassiop luckily fast enough to catch them back around, but it looked like they almost assumed that the death was coming through for them. Yeah, Snow Life really doing their damnedest to get out of that one alive, but unfortunately that flash was not enough. Another kill picked up for the side of GSG Sigma, but honestly, for those of you watching at home, don't let that kill line fool you. 13-11 looks way more favorable for GSG Sigma than it actually is. Just so much more gold over onto the side of TA Spectre right now.
Yeah, there's still but the gold is towers. The gold is towers right now for sure. And like the comeback mechanic, if they do start breaking these structures, is going to come back in a big way to help Sigma swing this. But we'll see what happens. I assume our next fight is going to happen around the next dragon fight, which should be up shortly. Yeah, 45 seconds until our next Drake.
Yeah, I think that right now TA Spectre really wants to go up to Soul Point because that will allow for them to put the game on a bit of a timer. They'll be able to force an issue in another 5 minutes, and in turn, that will allow for them to have better control over the map. They're going to have to force GSG Sigma to walk into River where they perhaps might not have vision, things of that nature. But Korn caught up here on the top side, Ash Arrow coming through, but I think that this man is just too tanky and has the headbutt in his kit to make it out alive. Gonna run all the way back to this tier 1, which frankly should not be up right now. He's able to really weather the storm and pull a ton of people away from this newly spawning dragon.
Yeah, and you gotta wonder, do they try and make a play on Baron, or are they just gonna try and knock over Korn and this turret at the same time? Because it looks like that was their plan, but the Forge God decided to call on some help. And I don't know, I think he ran into Lux again.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gas
it's
suddenly
just
had basically no health, and this is a lone Lux running up to try to get another kill down for the side of TA Spectre. Huge rotation over to the Baron with Gasyop so low, they're going to have to back, and I think that this might in turn lead to not only the Dragon, but Baron falling to TA.
gotta run for your life against like a light mage. Like that's gotta be rough. But here we go. It looks like we're gonna maybe get some contestant, but it's the Baron's already gone, so they should just back off.
Yeah, 100%. GSG Sigma do not want these hands right now. Sure, a little bit of damage
Don't
is
want
down
this heat.
on that team, but there's not enough there for you to really try to turn that fight in your favor and get a wipe before TA Spectre backs. This is going to be a tough uphill battle now for GSG Sigma, given the fact that you have so many towers already wiped off the face of the earth and you just gave up Baron. 1 or 2 deaths can really just lead to a death march down mid.
Yeah, and like we stated before, now you're sitting on 3 dragons for the side of TA Spectre. And if I'm playing against an Orin and an Olaf, I don't want them to have an Ocean Soul. There's no reality on where I'm like, yeah, we can give them the Ocean Soul.
Oh yeah, 100%. Gasyop gonna be moving into this bot side river. We do have Lux pretty far up here, but Olaf is pivoting down as well. Nice coalescing of TA Spectre here on the bot side of the map. We'll see where they want to make their play, and it looks like it's going to be in this bot lane. We do have Korn in the area alongside Paneer, but look at this wraparound coming through for GSG Sigma. They have pretty good positioning. That's going to be Onslaught of Shadows going right down onto the carry. Paneer going to fall really quickly here, and now Snow Life is being scattered to the wind.
But
Really falls on Dinah in the area, and that is going to be a huge encore coming through, but not before Snow Life falls. That is going to be Gasyop barely getting out of there alive. Chaos Storm being utilized by the Victor to try to get more down. Wow, here comes Ash Pepsi at time dumping out the damage, and now it is just Korn alive on the side of TA Spectre. That is the turn you need as GSG Sigma. That's the teamfight power that I was talking about right there, Feedonomics. Without the encore coming through until later on in that fight, you saw Gasyop just run on top of Paneer and Snow Life.
Yeah, that was a weird sort of split that they had going on the side of TA Spectre. You had, I just don't understand why you have your support mid laners solo pushing top lane with Baron, especially when Korn has his teleport up.
Yeah, and we saw this actually happen earlier when we had the fight top lane while Sildina pushed mid. I like the fact they're trying to get some income back onto the Seraphine, and you really need it given the fact that they are building for this more aggressive AP-focused style. But at the end of the day, you're just giving up a ton of plays that could just give you the game much more easily. Now, look at this kill balance, very much on the side of GSG Sigma, and that gold gap still standing around 3.5 to 4K, but it is closing in quite a bit.
Yeah, and right now, you know, with most of the kills sitting on Victor and sitting on Hecarim, like, that's exactly where you want the kills on the side of Sigma, right? Maybe
yeah,
you want
Victor's
a couple
huge.
more. Yeah, maybe you want a couple more on Ashe, but at the same time, you're more of a you can be a utility AD carry as you're playing on Ashe. Like, let me just land a good arrow. Right?
Yeah, and we saw what both a combination of a good arrow as well as just the slows that come through from that champion can do in a scenario like what we just saw. Gasyop, though, really far forward here. I think that this is just going to be a burst down call. The Forge God coming out and trying to get one straight back onto Paneer.
Good flash.
Stand United going to try to save the Horsey, but it will not be had. Gasyop, the first one to go down here. Big grouping of GSG Sigma in the area, though. We're about a minute from that dragon spawning. If we see a lot of deaths coming through for GSG Sigma, they will be giving up the soul here. So this is going to be a...
Narco, you still there? Oh, looks like we've got a good time. I think he's away for a second, so we're just gonna sit here with me as we're looking at this team fight. Korn doing a really good job to let YYDS fall to Paneer. As we have more happening, kind of a wall setting up where we're looking, I think, to try and secure the Dragon Soul on the side of, yeah, and that's a dead Victor over to the side of Snow Life. Oh, but Snow Life can't stay alive. Sacrificed for the Dragon Soul. That's tragic. Let's go check out up here what's going on with Korn. He's just looking at the enemy team, walking away from him. And now we kind of have a clock. We have a counter and a tick down to the Dragon Soul. You know, that Elder Soul is going to be really scary if it's on the side of TA Spectre. It really would be a linchpin into securing this game. Looking at items, we do have Luden's unlocks upgraded by Ornn. We do have Stridebreaker upgraded on the side of Olaf as well, and we saw the Gale Force went over to Paneer way earlier. So a lot of good things happening here on the side of TA Spectre. It was a good recovery from sort of losing that last team fight. As we're just sort of looking on into this, clearing vision over by the side of Baron, getting ready to set up for that next objective. Neither team really wanting to fight right now, though with TA Spectre, I would assume them to do something really quickly and egregious. Let's see what happens here. All right, you've got the trap wall getting broken up, and Paneer just sets it back up. Can't walk that way. You're not allowed. Have bricks falling like just to minions in the top lane from the side of TA Spectre. Maybe that was the upside to Fossil pushing that lane earlier. But you know, that was the long con. That's what we were going for there. As we're just sort of posturing around, getting a little bit of poke in where we can, clearing wards. Nothing major happening yet. I'm ready for this next big team fight, which it looks like we're posturing around too. Hey, welcome back, Narco.
Yeah, thank you. Did anyone lose yet?
Nobody's lost yet, so get back in here and do the play-by-play for me.
Yeah, I guess the soul has been claimed by the side of TA Spectre here, and they have widened that gold lead back up once more, so they will in fact be looking for the Baron as their win con going forward here. Big fight coming through, Encore getting drop, but not going to land onto anyone. That will allow for Gaskop to run in onto Paneer here, but Olaf can work as that front line right now. Tyrant Rex trying to make sure that his AD carry stays alive, and he will be successful in doing so with that Ragnarok being dropped. Chaos Storm in turn going down on to the side of TA Spectre, but I don't think that is going to lead to anything. Pretty solid stalemate right there. I'm surprised that we didn't see anyone fall.
Yeah, we've been sort of watching this sort of tango of back and forth on the side of both teams while they've been clearing wards and stuff. So I think the next big objective play is what's going to sort of turn around the linchpin of the team fight, so to speak. And it does look like we're going for Baron right now on the side of TA Spectre.
Yeah, I'm not too torn about this attempt, even with so many people on the side of GSG Sigma still up. Look at this tankiness coming through. Nobody is going low, especially with that sustained
that's
by the Seraphine. Yes, no, on the far side, just getting killed down onto Epic Champion to start this one off. YYDS going in, knowing that this is the only chance that GSG Sigma has at staying alive in this tournament. We see Gaskop split away from the rest of the team, while Korn takes the brunt of the damage for 376 in Pepsi of time. The rest of GSG Sigma now sent running right here. Encore finally back up, but that's going to land down onto YYDS. The only person escaping right here is Pepsi of time, and they are not long for this world. Huge play going through for TA Spectre. This is probably going to cost them the game.
I think that was the breaking point for the side of them. Oh no, he walked over the ward. Oh! I'm so sorry, Pepsi. It's just not gonna happen. Oh,
Man,
no.
That was quite the escape, but the question is really for what? By stopping that back timer, you really only have the Epic Champion coming up on that Victor who will be able to defend this onslaught for the side of TA Spectre. We'll see if he'll be able to do anything, but I think GSG Sigma will unfortunately be one of the first ones out of this tournament right here as he flashes back towards the fountain. It doesn't even work. 376 going to be coming on the edge of that Seraphine Q as well to just add insult to injury. Victory for TA Spectre.
Oh man, what a game! You scared me there for a second, Narco. Where did you go? You left me.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
You left me. I needed you in my time with the most where you weren't there.
I'll be back. Don't worry. Oh wow.
That was fun. I got to pretend that I was color and play-by-play at the same time. Like, and that's cool for my split personalities, but like at the same time, I just didn't feel like I did as much justice with you. Who do you feel like was player of the game? over here on the
Oh, I
side.
gotta give it over to Snow Life. Those
Yeah.
snares early dominated the bot side of the map and allowed for Paneer to scale up into the monster that they could be, right? Even though everyone on the side of TA Spectre played exceedingly well, I expected that Lux pick to be a little bit more coin flippy, you know? I didn't really think that they would be able to consistently bully 376 and Pepsi of time to the extent to which they did. So my applause and my love going over to Snow Life there on that Lux, going to be my player of the game. How about you, Feed?
No, I mean, I would say that most valuable player had to go to Snow Life as well. Just being that last fight, like making Epic disappear. Like just
Oh,
one combo made it too much. That being said, thanks for tuning in to the mid-season tournament. We're gonna take a second to recollect. I'm gonna let Narco reset his router.
100%.
And then we'll get you into the next tournament game. Like I said, thanks for tuning in, guys. Stick around. We got more games, and it's exciting. Love tournament season, man.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Blue Otter League. We are here in the mid-season tournament for the Platinum League, and already some really interesting drama going down on all sides. Blue Esports, with a huge upset over CB Rush, will be the ones facing off against TA Spectre here on the Blue Otter League stream number 2. Phenomics, what do you think about this bracket playing out on both sides?
Well, in most bracketed sporting events, there's always a Cinderella story / underdog. That's what we have going on over here right now. Like, Blue Esports is now my new best friend. Friendship with Snow Life and TA Spectre put on the back burner until possibly next game. But here we are. Like I said, we just finished watching that last game. You didn't miss too much excitement. You missed a lot of really good warding and ward clearing.
Ooh,
but favorite. No fights. You came right back in as the action started again. You were the catalyst.
Sounds
so
good.
Speak. So nothing was missed there. What were your takeaways from the way that Spectre played their previous match against Sigma?
What I saw was a lot of confidence. Maybe that came back through to bite them a few times, but for the most part, what I witnessed right there was a willingness to put their foot forward and really take fights when they felt confident to do so. We saw Snow Life oftentimes roam, get deep vision, but even when coming face to face with the enemy jungler, we talked a lot about how their composition that they drafted was very much a skill-based one, and everyone really kind of excelled and performed to a pretty high level. So interested to see whether or not they're going to kind of mimic this same sort of draft. We're already some interesting bans coming through for both sides. The Cassidon and Viego being taken out by TAS, who will be reprising the role on the blue, but already that Lux ban going through for Blue Esports Fire.
The respect ban.
Snow Life not going to be able to repeat on that one.
Snow Life really did just kind of crush that last game. Like I said, the complete and total just nail in the coffin was putting Epic from 100 to 0 with one combo. Completely just made that last fight go into the favor of Spectre. There was no chance after that. It even looks like you have Fossil getting banned out on Seraphine as well, but I feel like the champion pool is going to be wider than that. I also feel like maybe aside from 1 or 2 impactful encores, there weren't that many. But Spectre already gobbling up that first pick Jinx. Now they get their Volibear, which was banned out last game. So we'll see how well Tyrant does on that. Paneer did look pretty confident on Caitlyn, so I can only imagine that on Jinx with a reset, they'll also be pretty terrifying. As we do have the side of Blue Esports probably already locking in their bot lane with Ashe Karma.
Yeah, Karma has some flex potential here, but I imagine that it will be the Ashe going along with that champion in the bottom lane. Just give a little bit more substance, especially up against the Jinx, who you really don't want to get ahead early. The Soraka picked up for Snow Life here. We haven't really been seeing a whole lot of strict enchanters or healers in the Blue Otter League so far, so this is really exciting for me to see. Obviously, Fossil Dyna also seems to have the kind of predilection to playing supportive mids, and Soraka is someone that you could flex into that role, so perhaps we'll be in for a really interesting surprise right there. But for the time being, we'll say that both sides are locking in their bot lanes alongside their junglers. Trundle picked up for Blue Esports Fire.
Yeah, no, I do actually like the Trundle pickup into Volibear a whole lot. If only because, Volibear is going to want to jump in and do a lot with his ultimate, and then Trundle can go, but I really want some of what you have. Can I borrow some? Please share.
Oh, yeah.
Please share. So
it's so good with the Volibear too, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying is Volibear losing damage, losing resistances, and then just getting slapped by a club.
Debonking.
Yeah, exactly. Debonk.
LeBonk. Yeah, but just generally, I'm not really sure about Blue Esports Fire's choice of bans here. They are doing a lot of really strongly targeted bans. Ornn going to be taken away from Corn, probably a true tragedy coming through for that top lane. But at the same time, this removal of the Seraphine from the pool just doesn't feel right to me. I feel that, honestly, the way that Fossil played that last game, given the fact they oftentimes were taking solo lane duty while the rest of the team kind of ran around and forced fights, means that I would like to see them on a champion that scales a little bit harder and does a little bit more damage there. So I probably would have looked for bans similar to what we're actually seeing out of the side of TAS this time around. If I could take out something like the Cassid and maybe in fact go for like a Veigar ban, I'd feel a little bit more confident. But speaking of which, it looks like Blue Esports Fire are actually going to be the ones claiming the Veigar for themselves here.
Yeah, you gotta respect the cage.
You gotta respect the cage.
The cage is gonna be really big here. Like you can't get excited and run past the cage wall. I don't even think that Volibear can jump over a cage wall, right? Like he gets stunned when he passes through it. I know you love it when I ask you about game mechanics.
Yeah, I don't know why you're asking the Silver Talia support one trick about game mechanics, but I do believe he gets stunned.
I'm gonna make you better by like explaining mechanics to you, even though I'm just as bad as you at this game. Like I think that it's funny. It's funny in a way. But
man, I didn't even know what your rank is. I never looked up your account, so like I don't know. I thought you were like high plat or something. Don't ruin my illusion. Oh,
yeah,
God.
no, I'm actually like I was challenger like in season. So don't ever worry about fact checking that.
That's okay. I can blame you for your rank after this, but let's go through these last few picks coming through from either side. It looks like we're going to be getting the Xerath going into the hands of Fossil Dyna there in the mid lane. I really like this pickup for TA Spectre. It kind of jives with what I was talking about before in terms of having a champion that really benefits from that gold income to a greater degree than the Seraphine. We also see the Camille going to be put into that top side of the map here. Great duelist, has a huge propensity for isolating people with the utilization of Hextech Ultimatum during team fights, and given the way that the composition is coming through for Blue Esports Fire, it's definitely not a bad pickup. Meanwhile, Mord topside.
And kind of looking into Mord is also a really good pick. Volibear jumps in, wants to get really rowdy, and then all of a sudden, like, Mordekaiser's like, no, I like some of that. Let me borrow some of that.
Yeah.
Right? And just ults him. So I don't know. Like I kind of like the side that, like, I mean, I was already going to kind of be pandering towards Blue anyways because they had the upset of a rush. But like I do like their comp a little bit as long as and it doesn't seem like Spectre has that same explosive early game, unless it's Soraka mid and we have a Xerath bottom lane, and then I take everything back. Snow Life could just go off again. Right? But I think it's a little bit harder to do on Soraka than it is on Lux.
Yeah, we'll see that get confirmed here in a second as we move to the client draft, but to kind of touch upon those points via dynamics, I do like Blue Esports Fireside a lot. A lot of really solid playmaking potential being placed upon, especially the Mordekaiser and the Trundle here. Veigar obviously going to have so much displacement potential during team fights. You really cannot group up against that champion, but also TA Spectre have a great combination of engage and poke coming through. Jinx will be able to kind of peck away from afar alongside the Xerath, and with that Soraka being able to support these two artillery focused champions, it will just create a really solid front to back divide between them and the Camille and Volibear.
Yeah, and it doesn't really look like, barring like a really good Ashe arrow, that Blue Esports has a way into Spectre's comp, right? Like, how do you get to, like, you have to fight through the front line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if they're going to have the damage to actually be able to burn down Volibear, keep themselves alive through Camille, and then finally get to Jinx and Xerath, like, getting healed by Soraka.
Yeah, if there was a game for a Hecarim, it could have been this one for Blue Esports Fire. Obviously, the Trundle pick coming out in the top half kind of decided their fate early before they could really see everything that TAS was rolling with. But if they did in fact go that Hecarim, we could see similar plays to what we saw Gasyop from GSG Sigma do last game, where you just go for split fights, you curve around the back, you get the ultimate down onto stuff like the Soraka and Jinx, and you're just able to kind of wreck face before the damage output it really comes through for TA Spectre.
Mm-hmm. And well, like I said, we'll have to see what happens right now in this game. I'm just gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Blue Esports is gonna win this game. Like,
Ooh. I love the Cinderella story. I'll go in with you on that bet. Unfortunately, we're agreeing twice in a row, which is not great for drama, but at the same time,
no.
You
know what? Cool. You know what, Narco? I take it back. Back. I'm going for Spectre now. Just now we're a cast divided.
Oh, that's what I like to see. Sure.
Yeah.
You want to take any bets on who's gonna get first blood this time, Feed?
I'll
because you were wrong last time.
I wasn't wrong.
Last time you got half a point last time.
Yeah, there you go. It's half right. I was a quarter right at least. At the least, a quarter right. And then maybe we give myself a little bit of a higher percentage, and I get to like 50% of the point. I think.
While you ponder, we are in client draft, and we are in fact getting Fossil Dyna on the Xerath. No Soraka mid, unfortunately. The Church of LS will not be brought to the forefront here in this match. But at the same time, still really, really cool to see this Soraka come out. Snow Life, such a monster on that Lux. I imagine that they'll be able to land their silences and Qs with great abandon down there, given their skill with placing skill shots last time through. So going to definitely stay at high health, keep the Jinx alive, and hopefully just get some plays made.
I say that First Blood comes to... It's a really hard toss-up, because I'm trying to figure out if he's going to be Korn that gets it against Argo, or if it's Xerath that gets it against Toppin with... Or, like, Fossil gets it against Toppin with the help of Volibear, right? And I really... I'll say that it goes to the side of a Fossil on Xerath against Vigar. Yeah. That's my oracle guess. So we'll see if I'm right again this time. But you never know.
They could just go for another invade, and then all luck is out the window, depending on what side they decide to run to. And that being said, not really great invade potential from either team, unless Vagar really decides to just go for Baby Cage early. Maybe they could turn something into a kill alongside Austrias there on that Karma, going Mantra Q or the like. But yeah, overall, both teams really solid executable game plans. It's going to be a real question of who executes better, who has better macro, who's able to get priority in order to move towards those early neutral objectives and begin that snowball that we all so love to see.
Yeah, don't disagree with you at all there. If the side of blue does get going and the Vigar gets like astronomically big, the sky's the limit on that. And we'll have to see what Rengar the Null does with his arrows. To see if he can land Ash arrows this game.
Yeah, and we'll just compare to Pepsi of time, see who comes out on top in terms of R's hit, because
Pepsi's
big plays
really
and big picks, big picks really can be made with that champion, and it seriously does come down to positioning, comes down to really solid decision making from this side of Blue Esports Fire to make the most of the engages that are made possible by that long-term stun. Yeah, a lot to play with here. Really interested to see what happens. Gonna have to cheer for our underdogs here. For those of you just joining us, Blue Esports Fire in round 1 managed to pick up a win and knock out the #1 seed on the right side of the bracket here, CB Rush, being taken out, and they're looking for more.
Yeah, I want to see him take another game. Narco, I want Blue Esports to be in the championship casted on BOL 1. That's all of it. That's my largest desire right now. And if I'm wrong, I don't want to be right.
Well, you did put your bets in with TA Spectre earlier, so one way or another, you're going to be a little bit wrong. But, you know, that's what we stand for here in the Blue Otter League. Not taking a stand, neutrally casting these games, just giving a balanced overview of everything going on here in this mid-season tournament.
My heart wants Blue to win. My brain is like, Spectre's going to play the better game. But I would love it if my brain got outsmarted. That's what I'm saying. That being said, we are going to take like a short break while we wait for spectator delay to finish, and we'll see you guys back in game. Thank you for tuning into the Blue Water League on BOL2 for the mid-season tournament.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Blue Otter League. We are in the platinum bracket of the mid-season tournament here with a game between TA Spectre and Blue Esports Fire. Really solid start to this tournament here. TA Spectre getting a pretty solid victory over GSG Sigma, but the big news of the night is Blue Esports Fire getting that huge upset over the #1 seed on the right side of the bracket here. CB Rush going down to the 8th seed.
Yeah, I mean, you know, gotta love it. Gotta love it whenever a Cinderella story's set up. Does look like we're not gonna have any shenanigans. No invades at level 1 here. And Narco, like I was saying for our mini break, I really feel like I selected wrong. I think First Blood would go to Korn and Tyrant in the top lane now because of that Ignite. Like, that Ignite on Korn is gonna be so scary because you have no real offensive summoners on the other side, like anywhere near him other than in the bot lane, and there should be no reason they meet up early.
That's definitely true, but we are seeing a double bot side start for these teams here. Big leashes coming through for either side here. And notably, Urusai is going to be able to path up towards top pretty quickly here. So if Korn overextends, they won't have the flash to save them. Obviously, Hookshot, just such a great tool for avoidance on that Camille. But if things go wrong, we could in fact be seeing the First Blood go over to Blue Esports Fire. But the kill would still be top lane. So either way, I think you definitely got a shot here.
Yeah, and I mean, looking at it though, like both junglers did start on their bot side with their AD carries, and support. So, you know, if nothing else, we do at least get a fight night in the top lane.
Oh yeah, I mean, tons of things definitely have the potential to happen here. I mean, heck, a gank mid, totally possible given the fact that there are two relatively immobile champions in that lane. Interestingly enough, Ghost taken by Fossil Dyna as their secondary summoner spell here to probably give them a little bit more kiting potential against the likes of Urusai on that Trundle. A lot of damage being traded here on the bot side too. Austria's having to walk forward, trying to get those mantra Qs down, and in turn is getting bonked a little bit on the head with those Soraka Starfalls.
Yeah, but you have Korn, just like I said, chunking away, trying to Trying to do their best with that level advantage. Snow Life, though, you know, the stat of Soraka being super low, but here's that gank we were talking about.
Yeah, Pillar coming through super early. Corn going to be able to use their hook shot to try to get out of this one. It looks like they're trying to turn around.
No!
Delay this one for Tyrant Rex to come through, and so the kills will be traded, but I will say I called this one, Feedonomics. You were close, but no cigar.
Yeah, all right. You know what? Still happened top lane. I'll take a 17th of a point.
You take a 17th of a point. Okay, cool. You're nearly at 1/3 of a point here, Feed.
Hey, you got to start somewhere. You gotta start somewhere.
That is true. That is true. All right. Meanwhile, bot side of the map, this kind of bullying format that we're seeing coming through for
Ignite now.
The Null really beginning to come and shine through here. There's a ton of shots going down onto Paneer. They're going to flash forward, and it will be a trade of kills right there early on for the bot side of the map. Soraka probably doesn't have the kill pressure to do anything against Austrias, so it will ultimately turn into a 1-for-1 unless this W really comes through clutch. Big root going through for Snow Life here. Austrias was just really setting up for Irisai here, but Soraka, I think, staying far enough back for no more kills to come through. We do have yet again another double rotation of junglers to the contested lane.
Yeah, and you know, we like you had said earlier, Urside's just coming up quicker than Tyrant on that last one, or else it could have been completely different. Could have been completely different.
Could have been. Yeah, could have been. You never know. You never know. Things staying pretty darn even here, about a 1,000 gold lead over to the side of Blue Esports Fire, though. They're going to try to utilize that in just picking up a few better items than we'll see coming through for TA Spectre. But this is not outside the norm for what we see in even games like this. That goal difference will definitely evolve as time goes forward.
But wouldn't it be neat if it just stayed just even all game, and then like one crushing team fight for one side or the other?
Can you imagine? Yeah. Can you imagine having a game go 50 minutes every single time? It's basically a 4-for-4 with one person standing alive, ideally the support from either team, and then nothing happens on the map, nothing is taken, neutral objectives just stand there chilling. Be a really interesting game for sure. Maybe not one I'd want to cast, but definitely a possibility if things stay as even as they currently are.
Yeah, I mean, if the duel between the AD carries is anything to to sort of, you know, foreshadow what the game is, then yes, it would be really amusing.
Yeah, we see the cleanse picked up on Paneer this game in order to get rid of that Ash Hour if it ever does come down onto them. They do have the level advantage right now, so that will still be a little bit of a ways off for the side of Blue Esports Fire. But given the fact that Paneer has prioritized cleansing these kinds of disabling moves in the past, we saw Quicksilver Sash come out as one of their buys in the prior game against an Ashe. Seems like a pretty logical step to take, especially as Soraka is totally comfortable taking the heal.
Yeah, no, it completely makes sense, and it looks like you've got some action coming from the Predator Vigar.
Yeah,
the Cage!
Get that baby Cage. One is going to be able to flash out, but Paneer is not so lucky. Through again. Rhaegar the Null and Paneer going to once again exchange a few more shots and go down in turn. A 1-for-1 staying here in this bot lane, 3-for-3.
Balance among all things.
Balance, as all things should be. That is for certain here. Across the map now, we're beginning to see the lanes really begin to play out in terms of the dynamics that we expected. Pushes coming in from the mid lane, Fossil Dyna, getting the opportunity to get a little bit solo farm and priority in by the fact of Mr. Topnapun going for this Predator Vagar, getting those roams out, and even though they got to kill bot side for their efforts, it was exchanged back onto them. Austria is going way too far forward, gonna have to flash out of this one, but the rockets continue to come through for Paneer. The shield is going to save their life though, as Trundle looking to turn this one around alongside Mr. Topnapun returning once more. That will be Paneer getting Austria's, but I think he will be cut down in turn. Mr. Topnapun gonna run forward, get the kill down onto Snow Life. Unfortunately, Tyrant Rex coming into the area is not able to save their support.
Yeah, I mean, that time equivalent exchange didn't happen. It's no longer full metal bot lane. But that was really good roam on Vigar's part to make sure that both bot laners for the side of Spectre did eventually go down in that fight. And it looks like you have Fossil using their Ghost, like we discussed earlier, but the baby cage.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be enough to get them out of the situation. They're just kind of standing by tower. We'll get a stun down onto Mr. Topnapun and a laser beam to boot. Irasai has a lot of kill pressure here, though, especially given the fact that both of those summoners are burnt on Fossil Dyna.
Yeah, no, completely. And it was pretty funny watching the I'm stuck in the cage shimmy.
The classic, right?
The back forth. I really hope this big blob of void darkness energy doesn't smack me in the head.
You know, it's better than the silver cage shimmy, in which case you try to do the same kind of wobble back and forth, but the person misclicks and they just walk straight into the wall.
That's very true. I've never done that. Never done that once in my life.
Sure.
No. Not a misclick a day in my life.
You know, I'm very skeptical of all these claims you're making, Feedonomics, given your dubious past. There is Mordekaiser ultimate coming down, Korn on a one-way ticket to Brazil, but they are standing close enough to tower that combined with the ignite will prevent Argo the Radis from pushing forward in and trying to get the kill against the Camille.
It was just a prank. Just a prank, bro.
Just a prank, bro. Wow, this poke damage coming through for Fossil Dyna certainly is something to bear witness to here. We may be getting some drama on the top side. Tyrant Wreck going to get ulted by Iraside, and now the Trundle is trying to get forward before the kill comes through. Soraka ultimate being utilized, though. That's the turnaround you're looking for. Hextech Ultimatum going down onto Argo the Radis. Super Mega Death Rocket coming up into the area, but that will be another kill traded back. Fossil Dyna going to peel back towards the bot, while Korn, meanwhile, moving towards their tier 1 tower. That was a good rotation from both teams, yeah.
I don't disagree. Can I just say it's really funny watching, like, fast Vigar?
Fast Vigar. His little legs, like, it's so much effort for so little forward motion.
He just sort of hobbles back and forth like a penguin. And he's just like, I'm gonna throw my cage up and kill you.
Gosh, think about how messed up his calves must be from walking like that.
You never skip leg day?
Yeah, never skip leg day. He's going for a nice roam down here, bot side river, clearing up some wards. Is seeing Paneer and Snowlight push up a little bit, which may in turn lead to a gank, but for the time being, I think he will return to his domain in the mid lane. Good drama throughout the rest of the map, though. Nothing too crazy except for this gank coming through for the side of Tyrant Rex here, getting solid damage down. Mordekaiser staying on the periphery, but Camille is eventually going to claim that one.
Yeah, see, Korn did get a kill, 11 minutes into the game, so my prediction wasn't that far off.
Yeah, not that far off at all. That will be a kill picked up for the Camille. Still has that teleport up as well, which means that with the priority they're able to gain over this top side of the map, they'll be able to TP right back after a good heal and buy, perhaps help the Volibear with picking up this Rift Herald top side.
Yeah, that rift is probably going to go down without too much of a fight. Well, maybe I stand corrected and I spoke too soon.
Yeah, we see a coalescing of GSG Sigma into the area. Baby Cage coming down, followed by a flash. This is a very angry. He's got to drop the R and just get the execute down killing spree for that mid laner. Mr. Topnapun, really scary right now. They'll be able to turn this around for GSG Sigma, and this will be them moving into the Rift Herald.
Really enjoyed that, by the way. I wish you would have called him Eager Vigar, though.
Eager Vigar.
Yeah, I really wish that would have happened, but I'll allow it. Fun times looking like it, and we have the bot laners, like the ADCs, just sort of sitting there looking at one another. Paneer getting in the poke that he can when he can with those rockets, as the volley doesn't do anywhere near as much damage.
Yeah, and we see Camille just catching a wave top side of the map, having to kind of walk back up here in that walk of shame after being wiped out by that huge ultimate coming through for Mr. Topnapun here.
I think they actually teleported to top.
Oh, did they teleport? Oh yeah, there's the teleport gone.
Teleport is gone. So that was not just a walk of shame, that was an expedited teleport of shame.
Yeah. You get the few moments where you're just standing still in the teleport, just thinking about your life and what you're going to do once you get back to the lane. Real fun times all around. This is why I don't play that godforsaken role.
I get forced into it. I've been playing a lot of ADC lately.
Gotcha. That's just a pretty godforsaken role. Although, frankly,
It's
who
not
isn't
that
godforsaken when you play League of Legends?
Casters.
True, but we aren't even playing.
I don't know, man. Like, I find this as fun as playing.
I find it more fun than playing, frankly. If there's one thing that has cured my like addiction to solo queue, it is casting games. I have played dramatically less ranked since I have began working for the Blue Water League, in fact.
Nice. That's not the same for me. Unluckily.
Unluckily, yeah. Right now, everything is looking to be pretty neutral right now.
Chomper's
None
coming
of these
down,
big
Pirate
objectives,
Rex.
yeah. Oh, maybe we'll see approach coming through for this bot side, but I think that just frankly, Rhaegar the Null and Austrius are learning to play a bit more safely. They aren't going to try to bleed out any more kills to the side of TA Spectre.
Yeah, I mean, and that's wise too. You've got. I mean, it's about even. Panier's got the CS advantage, but as far as kills and everything, you know, 1 kill over top, but 1 more death.
Yeah, where I'm looking though is Mr. Topnapun going up not only in terms of kills but also CS against the Xerath in the mid lane. That is going to be a really big threat given how powerful he has been even before truly scaling out. Big approach on the bot side of the map. That's Trundle Pillar coming forward, and that will be Soraka trying to flash back towards their tower. Heal being dropped alongside that ult. That will not be enough. Mr. Topnapun is going to go on a rampage here, and Baby Cage, the Jinx in turn, a double kill for that mid laner on the side of on the side of Blue Esports Fire. Sorry, I thought we were back in that last game for a second.
No, I mean that's completely fine. I can't believe my heart. My heart is outsmarted my brain at the moment. It's exciting.
Let's keep it down for a second, though. You know, like we're only, you know, about a third of the way through this game. There's so much more league to be played, so many more plays to be made on the map. Definitely don't count TA Spectre out yet.
I'm not counting them out. I'm just it's starting to get to a point, right? I mean, it's a small point. There's at least a stress fracture. You know, there's a crack in the ice right now for TA Spectre, and they've got to be careful on where they walk right now because there's a tiny little Yordle that has a lot of anger issues that hobbles pretty quickly.
Oh, yeah. No, it's one of those like recurring nightmares that you have as an ADC, you know? You're just sitting there in a bush, breathing heavily, and you hear, "Is that a short joke?" from across the screen, and all of a sudden your life bar is gone.
And then it's not across the screen anymore. He's got a wolf above his head, and his boots is active, and then you're dead.
Yeah, you have to like stifle your laughter as he waddles around angrily at very high speeds. It's quite the time here with the Predator Vhagar there in the mid lane. I am glad to see this champion back in the meta, though. And just in general, I think that Blue Esports has been playing this really well. They know that the scaling threat on the side of TA Spectre is Panier on that Jinx, and so we're seeing a huge focus of Mr. Topnapun and others into that area. Xerath ult being dropped down here, but that will be a second dragon picked up for Blue Esports Fire. This is really beginning to show the prowess that they have with the champions and huge sun coming through. Xerath going to get pillared as well. Just a combined death ball walking up, using that timeout that is given away by Rhaegar the Null to pick up yet another kill. They're really starting to snowball this match out of control.
Yeah, like I said, the crack is slowly starting to get bigger and bigger. It's kind of like I said, it's walking out in the middle of the frozen lake and just hearing that terrifying noise.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh no. How do we get back? Do we run? Do we walk slowly? Like, what do you think here? Do you slow roll this, or do you try to make a play?
Oh gosh, I feel that slow rolling is just not TA Spectre's style, especially given how they played last game. They may be a little bit uncomfortable just playing as passively as they're kind of forced to right now, but at the same time, what do you do against a Vhagar that's so heavily rushing towards a power spike?
Yeah, I mean, and yeah, looking at it, it looks like that death cap's gonna be done pretty soon.
Yeah, those double needlessly large rods put onto Mr. Topnapun. It is only 17 minutes in the game.
This
They're
is
looking
not
for a
good.
huge burst. Wow, incredible jump in though. Just Korn running up, getting that Hextech ultimatum down, no hesitation whatsoever. Austria's taken out in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, that was your you're running across the frozen lake to try and get away from the cracks, right? And maybe hook shotting across the frozen lake. You never know.
Yeah, I feel that Camille would be particularly suited to running across a frozen lake with those like tiny little pointy feet.
Are you sure? Because they're swords.
Yeah, but they could like dig in, and plus she's like pseudo ice skating the whole time, right?
So digging into the broken ice is not a good idea.
She just outruns the threat of the ice cracking under her though.
Okay, Narco. Okay, I can see. But
Yeah,
the arrow's out.
Yeah, arrow coming through,
It
and it is
does
going to
land.
land onto Paneer. They do have cleanse, and I think they're just going to wait this one out. No real
Yeah, there's
backup
no
coming
reason.
through. Yeah, so interesting choice by Rhaegar the Knoll. I don't know if they just wanted to stop a back or what there, but they could have used that better for a fight. Snowlight getting caught out there on the
Yeah.
side. That is going to be the root going down from Karma. Austria is going to help Rhaegar the Knoll pick up a kill regardless. They may have used their ultimate and it may not have been a kill on the person they were intending it to go through for, but big misposition from Snowlight.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe it was a deterrent just to get to lower expectations, right? Oh, they don't have ult anymore. They lack kill pressure. Like, we're fine. No, obviously not. And
Coming
man,
through for Argo the
Korn.
Radis, but that matters not. The damage being traded back in turn is going to force the Mordekaiser off of that bot lane. All right, that is a solo turret worth of gold going over to Vhagar. Not exactly what you want to see if you're on the side of TA Spectre, but they will have these objective bounties come up pretty soon here.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens. It looks like Argo is going to get, walked by. Korn's just going to say, nah, not right now. I'm busy.
Yeah, all the while, this is a pretty solid split going through for Argo the Radis as we see topside of the map. Blue Esports Fire just trying to ravage this jungle and take this second turret here topside as well. We do get a rotation here. Yeah, we do get a rotation here, but I think that they got what they came here for. Blue Esports Fire, meanwhile, still trying to push out this bot side, getting a lot of damage back onto Korn. That trade went way more favorably for the Mordekaiser here. But I think that, frankly, the way that things are playing out just means that Argo the Radis is able to push this to a standstill pretty happily, which means that any even trades are actually relatively favorable for Blue Esports Fire because they're able to just prolong the time that they're able to spend in this lane.
Mm-hmm. And that time I think the fight went better because, Conqueror got to proc. And then you landed a really nice mace onto a solo target. So we'll see what happens here. Who do you think the next arrow is going to be aimed at / hit?
Ooh, that's a good question because I think with this dragon coming up in just a few moments here, they will be utilizing the arrow in a pretty large group situation. And so I think it's really whoever their arrow hits, the arrow hits. Big catch out there right here. And that is going to be arrow not in fact landing down onto Tyrant Rex. He's going to have to ult out of the way himself though. This will provide a lot of priority for the side of Blue Esports Fire to just establish vision and control over this third Drake here. They will go to Soul Point if this one goes down without resistance. It looks like we're getting a rotation topside though from TA Spectre. Maybe looking to grab a Baron. Yeah, but I think that with the vision that they have on the side of Blue Esports Fire, they're going to rotate up and contest this one 100%.
I mean, Earthside did not path with his team, and I don't know
really
if that was the right play.
Yeah, now they're walking into a bit of a death trap here. Mr. Topnapun gonna run.
What a good flash.
Hextech Ultimatum is going to catch out that Vhagar and lead to a big shutdown. This
Here he is,
turn
though.
tearing apart, but one kill is going to be traded back. Rhaegar the Knoll walking forward alongside the Trundle here. He has arrived. The Troll King is coming, and that bonketing will occur. Volibear going to fall here alongside the Camille, and this turnaround might mean an attempt at the Baron for Blue Esports Fire.
No, I think that they leave it alone right now too.
Yeah, maybe a little bit
I think
too
there's
low.
too much poke on the side of Spectre to try that. But still, if Earthside didn't go for Braum, right? That fight is so much different. That fight is in Blue Esports' favor 110%.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm not really sure what the thought process there was. We had clear vision of the Baron being started up by Paneer and Snowlife, and the Trundle just, I guess, decided to take the leisurely route over.
Yeah, like I said, I was a little confused by that one. That's definitely not how I would have played it. But you know, I'm also not on the tournament team, so that just shows how good I am at the game.
Yeah, we're all diffed by the skills coming through from both Blue Esports Fire and TA Spectre here. Look at the vision control that the red side has over this Baron pit now. They're really going to be able to just catch anyone trying to walk up and maybe even able to get some picks if we see Snow Life or the like just trying to solo walk through and clear this vision. But given that being the case, TA Spectre are going to bunch up as a group here, try to get some priority back, wrestle control over the vision, and move their ward line up a little bit to contest what Blue Esports Fire has cooking.
Yeah, and we'll see if there is an attempt at another fight, maybe another cheeky arrow here in a moment.
Yeah, you really can't count out the engage potential coming through from the likes of the Ashe right there. That will be the arrow utilized, but it's not going to turn into a kill, as Paneer is just going to cleanse that one right away.
Yeah, I mean, but still, taking cleanse out. Oh, wait a moment.
It's a stunned void.
Wait a moment.
It is a ton of damage being dropped through Tyrant Rex, getting healed by the Soraka, and now that rotation from Snow Life may save the Bear's life, but huge pressure coming through. Mr. Topnapun not quite at the burst potential that he will soon scale up to be, though.
Let's look at his items really quick, Marco. He does have his hat. He does have his Everfrost.
Yeah,
and it does look like we have a Baron fight.
Yeah, this is Xerath ultimate coming through. Mordekaiser trying to work as a front line, but going to get stunned. Paneer dropping a ton of damage down onto this champion, but that will be a trip to Brazil and a fight going on with the rest of the team now. Hextech ultimating coming down. Rhaegar the Knoll going to be the first one taken out, but this Vhagar just going to kite back a little bit and respond in turn. That is Camille dead too. However, 3 alive on either side means that this Baron is going to finally fall over to the side of Blue Esports, but that could have gone a little bit more cleanly. They could have grouped a bit more and just really leveraged the power of Mr. Topnapun. That was too split, honestly, for my comfort.
Yeah, and Argo kind of got a little bit turned around and confused trying to ult somebody, but you can't when you're silenced by Soraka.
Oh,
really good silence field on Soraka's cast there, keeping him stuck in the middle of it and just ultimately like neutering him for that fight. Is kind of the best way to put it.
Oh yeah, definitely. Now we do have this crucial few moments before Soul is upon us here. Phenomics, I really think we're going to have to see a push from the side of TA Spectre. If they're able to get a good fight here, not only will they be denying Soul over to Blue Esports Fire, but they furthermore will be able to take off some of these crucial Baron buffs that could allow for this team to push for the win if they're not careful.
Yeah, I mean, but you also have to watch out if you're on the side of TA. I don't think, yeah, Cleanse is not up right now for Paneer. So another good arrow. Look at this, they're waiting.
Yeah, this vision control, once again, what we were talking about before, such great domination over the ward game on the map here for Blue Esports Fire. They're able to death push. Yeah, it's a question of who is it going to land on and what will that lead to. We see the walk forward, confident, striking, a few stuns coming down here in turn. And
the cage!
A huge baby cage coming through for the Vhagar. Wow, Blue Esports Fire go to tear apart their enemies here. TA Spectre sent on the run. A lot of damage being traded back in turn.
No!
Flank coming through for the Mordekaiser. Argo the Rat is turning this one around in dominating fashion. It's a double kill. Not only is that Soul, but that might just be the end of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you can really recover from that financially.
Financially.
I'm never going to financially recover from this. Is kind of what TA Spectre is thinking right now. That event horizon was huge. Like, it was ridiculously large. I think that at least 3 members got stunned. It canceled Korn's second part of Hookshot, and now they're gonna go back, they're gonna get this Dragon Soul, they're gonna get one more turret. Why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
that is 2 inhibitors already taken out. Blue Esports Fire have a ton of priority over this map now. No neutral objectives up means that they're free to just siege wherever they so darn please. And the Baron buffs still riding strong, finally going to go away for Argo, Urusai, and Mr. Topinapun. But this priority that they achieved over the bot side means that they're able to play however they so desire.
Yeah, no, I mean, what a dapperly dressed Yordle right now. Vygar sitting at 8-1-7, looking mighty fine. Still has the hourglass. Just finished their stone plate.
I don't hate it. I really don't hate it.
I don't hate it either. It's great. It's fantastic. Well, all right, so here's my question. How much AP is Vygar sitting on right now with his passive?
You really are just asking incredibly difficult questions. I don't even know what ballpark to guess in. I imagine like 400 AP.
On his passive?
I don't know what his passive does.
Well, come on, Narco.
You're the color caster here.
It's 271. So you weren't too far off. You weren't.
Yeah,
too far.
sure.
You weren't. I'll give that to you.
Like, I understand he stacks, and I imagine he got a lot of stacks this game. That's about where I'm at.
Yes, 271 APs worth of stacks.
But that's also like multiplied by the Rabadons and whatnot, so maybe I'm just taking that into account. So I'm even closer.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah, Hextech Soul on the side of Blue Esports Fire. They're going to push deep into the base with this one here. Big group, and this is going to be the third inhibitor fallen. The question is whether or not they're going to try.
Oh, they're going in! Spectre's going in!
Ultimate coming through from Tyrant and Rex. That will be Xerath ult expended as well. Argo the Rat has taken a one-time trip to Brazil with the Volibear, and that will be a killing spree, although the shutdown immediately coming through right after. A 1-for-1 shows the power that this Mordekaiser pick has on the map. He goes so darn deep, but as soon as he hits that R, he's basically safe for the time being and able to get one back down onto the side of TA Spectre.
And he did a pretty good job at forcing the Volibear flash too. Tyrant did try and play a little sneaky way to make it work, but ultimately it wasn't going to be enough. Maybe not the best cage placement that fight.
Yeah, it was a little bit too defensive.
Of a peel cage. Yeah, it was too much of a peel cage. When you have 700 AP and you have a Gargle Stone Plate, like, why not just play aggro?
Yeah, we do see the regrouping of Blue Esports Fire once again coming through, paying dividends as they're going to move across to the top side enemy jungle here. Baron is coming up in less than a minute. This will be their goal. If this is taken out here, this is a pretty clean means by which to end the game for Blue Esports Fire. And heck, I think that because this is such an obvious win condition, they may just be able to pick up the win even before the big purple worm goes down by virtue of forcing a fight here.
Yeah, I mean, you have to, like, you should contest. I don't know. Like, I guess this is a situation where you can't contest it. But I think you should have tried to contest it. But your base is completely broken. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's not like these are going to get easier. Your one hope is that you stand by your Nexus turrets and try to make something happen. But the siege power on display from the side of Blue Esports Fire is really something to behold now. Argo the Rat is the first one into the fray. As Volibear forced to ult out of the way here. Huge engage potential gone. An arrow coming through now. Soraka ult is going to try to heal up some comrades, but it's not going to be enough. Teleport also being channeled to try to get a flank down onto this fight. Tyrant Rex going too low alone from everyone else, as Xerath ulti is going to try to put some more damage down onto the side of Blue Esports Fire, but I don't think it'll be enough as we see Paneer get ulted. Argo the Rat is going to be able to take out that ADC, and this is a broken base. Blue Esports Fire defying the odds, going 2-0 here in this midseason tournament.
This is incredible. Is that Blue Esports in the final on our side of the bracket now? Like heading towards the championship? Is this?
Yeah, making it semifinals. You cannot believe it.
My heart is so happy. My brain is so confused. I'm not gonna lie.
That's one way to put it. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's the best way to put it. Like brain confused. So I don't know. I'm on board. I'm on board for game 3. I already know.
Yeah, this will definitely be a wild one, especially as they will be going up against the second seed in this tournament, UCF Lancers. Got to buy in that first round here due to the fact that the team dropped, but clearly still showing that they are able to strut their stuff here with a win picked up here in the quarterfinals. Blue Esports Fire, though, are really the talk of the town right now. I mean, 1-3 during the regular season. They only have picked up 2 rounds over.
We already know, like Mr. Toppin, obviously player of the game.
Mr. Top,
Has to be.
I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Yeah, obviously player of the game. Huge runs coming through. Those Predator boots doing so much work early on to just get him down, making plays, especially on the bot side of the map. Paneer just simply was not able to scale, and Snow Life was basically a non-issue this time around. That those heals could save a few people, but they can't save a whole team, especially when you get those huge cages coming down. Mr. Topin turn fights single-handedly with their plays in this one. Huge applause over to them. And honestly, Feedonomics, like, it
Yeah.
isn't even just this side of the bracket. I'm looking over here and we see Dragonclaw Cloud taking down Undying Tyrants, the #1 team in this league here.
Ooh.
So we're seeing some wild plays coming through. They're going to be up against CB Ruby here in the semifinals on the other side. So with 4 teams left in the tournament, there's so many more questions to be answered here. Don't go anywhere. We're going to throw it to a quick break.
This city never sleeps, chemically brought down on its knees. With every breath that I breathe, clenched fists and gritting teeth. Tonight the energy flowing in me is waiting for release. Thunder beneath my feet, I sight you on my life. Until the dawn, the darkness falls, and I lose control. I feel it in my bones, a spark to lead us through the shadows. Can I fight the way before me? It's coursing through my soul, a road to guide us through the sorrow. But can I calm this storm inside me? This electricity, a part of me that's under pressure. Charged up, my fuse igniting a sight you wanna see. I'm outside, pointing to the sky. Gonna make the earth shake, cause you can't contain me. Voltage bursts through the black of my eyes. Put my finger on the trigger and I'll shock you, baby. Against the odds, until the dawn, the darkness falls, and I lose control. I feel it in my bones, a spark to lead us through the shadows. Can I fight the way before me? It's coursing through my soul, a road to guide us through the sorrow. But can I calm this storm inside me? I feel it in my bones, a spark to lead us through the shadows. But Can I fight the way before me? It's coursing through my soul, a road to guide us through the sorrow. Can I calm this storm inside me? I feel it in my bones, a spark to lead us through the shadows. Can I fight the way before me? It's coursing through my soul, a road to guide us through the sorrow.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Blue Otter League. We are here in the mid-season tournament for the Platinum bracket, playing for the semifinals with UCF Lancers and Blue Esports. Draft beginning to come through now. Already some familiar bands on the table here as we see the Vagar Ash taken out by UCF Lancers.
Did not want to deal with that Vigar that we just got to see last game. First item Everfrost, second item Deathcap, third item Gargoyle Stoneplate? Gargoyle Stoneplate? But it worked.
It worked. They won.
Worked.
They steamrolled, frankly.
They really did. It was impressive. I was impressed. I was happy. I'm all in on Blue Esports this game. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, as am I. This has been quite the run for them, already taking out the first seed and then dropping yet another big contender there in TA Spectre in the quarterfinals. Viego, the first pickup on the side of UCF Lancers, big jungler coming through. Bard Jungle only has played this champion a lot in the regular season, so with it not being taken out of the pool, they're going to snap that one right up. What do you feel about this as first pick?
First pick Viego, we like resets here on the Blue Otter League. So give me Mr. Steal your abilities. In fact, UCF, lock in Silas. Just steal abilities and ults. I'm ready for it.
Yeah, definitely. Karma going to be the response here. We've seen this come out of Austrias before here, and it is a pretty interesting pick. It's something that really allows for Blue Esports to grab some priority on the bot side of the map and synergizes very well with an early game jungler, which is in fact what we are seeing being picked up. Iridesai going to have their hands on that Xin Zhao as Jinx Sona, the lock-ins on the side of UCF Lancers, which I gotta say, Feedonomics, gives me a little bit of wavering in my Blue Esports fandom here, as I have been a huge advocate of Sona, and I just absolutely adore seeing her picked here so deep into the bracket.
She is pretty strong as well, so it does make sense. I do like the pick, but I'm unwavering. You can defect if you want, but I can't, and I won't. I want to see this championship mashup between Question Mark and Blue Esports on Blue Otter 1 after this game. Make sure you tune in there after this game is over, regardless of the outcome. Nice plug. I like that plug.
Yeah, I like the plug. I like the confidence as well. Jin, the final lock-in on the side of Blue Esports here in the first section. Zoe, a ban coming through as well. Blue Esports really been going for a lot of these very targeted bans, not only to what the general tendencies are of their opponents, but also what they played directly the game before the last one here. And we're seeing that kind of reflected in their choice to knock out Zoe and Lux as well.
Yeah, same deal on the side of Lancers, though. You have the Mordekaiser, you have the Trundle, you have the Vigar, and you have the Ash Band onto the side of UCF against Blue. So they didn't want to deal with anybody but Karma.
Yeah, definitely. Tryndamere, Mordekaiser knocked out here. Tryndamere, such a big threat here in this league. Incredible sustain with the utilization of their ultimate, and the fact that they're able to just wipe out bot laners without a moment's notice is just such an incredible trait to have in someone going topside for UCF Lancers or Blue Esports here. Mordekaiser also removed from the pool. Argo the Rat has popped off on that last game, so they're going to take another choice away from Blue Esports here, pinching that top lane even more. Dr. Mundo going topside, gonna be building that early Spirit Visage to synergize with the Sona. They're really looking for a pretty defined game plan here on the side of the Lancers.
I want to see maybe Urgot. I don't know. I don't know what I want to see from the top lane of Blue here. A Volibear. Okay. They're listening. They have to.
Yeah, you're gotta be kidding me.
No, it's the you god, my boys. Here we go. I've got Jin and Urgot. I'm excited. This is fantastic. This is a great day. This has been a great day to cast. I'm so happy. Aww.
Yeah, a lot of cool picks coming through. Mr. Topnapan going to be on their favored Kassadin here. After seeing how good they are on the scaling mages like the Vagar from last game, I'm excited to see what they can do with one of their mains up against the Ahri in the hands of Lighthearted One.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I feel like Ahri is a mid laner that should be able to punish Kassadin early, but if you can get Kassadin to is it basically 16? Does he have to get to 16, or do I got a little bit of wiggle room here? I'm asking you questions that you don't know the answer to. Like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to, Narco.
I mean, it depends how hard you feed the Kassadin early, right? Obviously, this is a champion that really scales well with items, with gold income, but also that final level being unlocked on their ultimate just allows for them to be such a huge presence there in team fights. So I really think it becomes a matter of you can really start to like give the game away by inting away kills to the Kassadin early, but it becomes a surefire victory for the side of Blue Esports if they are able to convert the Kassadin into a Kassa win.
Yeah, I mean, well, and that's the thing is, like, is Jinx Sona going to be able to get away from a Kassadin ulting on top of them? Double so if he, like, if Mr. Toppin gets to the same point that he was last game on Vigar and Kassadin, this one will be over.
Oh yeah, definitely. There is like some solid CC coming from UCF Lancers that can prevent Kassadin from void walking wherever they so desire here. Sona are going to really be at a premium, especially given the fact that Mr. Toppin is going to want to jump onto the backline here. But in general, a real premium is being placed on solid positioning given the composition that we're seeing coming through for the Lancers here, right? We have Mundo as just an incredible tanky frontliner, and with the combination of that plus the damage output from the Viego, you really need to ensure that you're playing carefully on Blue Esports side. A pick will lead to them giving away neutral objectives here, but at the same time, if Lancers miss position, if Mundo is too far away from the fight to act as a damage sponge, Sona, Ari, Jinx, all champions that can be wiped out in the blink of an eye, especially given the fact that you have the execute ability on Urgot to sow more discord, getting that general fear off and a kill, going to be disastrous for the game plan for UCF Lancers. So really solidly balanced here in terms of what both sides are looking to play out here, but where's your heart still leaning, Feedonomics?
It's going to be on the side of Blue. I like more Blue champions than I like on the side of UCF. I am a big fan of Viego, but you have Kassadin, Urgot, and Jhin over on the side of Blue Esports, and at least two of those champions are dear and near to my heart, and I do like to pretend that I can play Kassadin when I really can't. So, you know, I pull Clash Bands with Urgot, and I probably pull Clash Bands, like, if I ever was playing AD as Jhin, but never as Kassadin. So, but still, Blue Esports, definitely gonna win here. Like, I like their comp more. I love 4 shooty bullet guy. I like anybody with, like, a mini game in their League of Legends mechanics, right? So like Senna, Thresh, Bard, Jhin, anybody that has like a weird sort of funky mechanic is just I'm all in.
Yeah, I get what you're saying here. I do like what Blue Esports are laying down, and they have continuously surprised us throughout this tournament. But UCF Lancers, a dominant team here in the league, second seed here on the right side of the tournament bracket, and they have got some real bangers of champions, frankly. Viego, able to do so much with those ult resets to just wipe out champion after champion, and Sona, going to be there to heal him up the whole way through. Jinx, obviously terror in our own right. Really, we are sitting in what a lot of people are terming the Jinx meta, and you know, whenever you have a game condition named after you, it's going to be pretty solid to lock that champion in. Ari as well, even with those nerfs in 12.5, really coming through and still maintaining their spot as a premier mid laner, going to be able to bully the Kassadin early. So, you know, as much as my heart will stay with you, Feedonomics, and I will wish for the win for Blue Esports, I am going to have to give my prediction over to the UCF Lancers this time to make it to the finals.
Traitor. That being said, we've been really rude the whole time, Narco.
Okay.
We've not asked chat once who they think is going to win this game, or the other 2 games beforehand.
That's true, but
So, hold on.
Okay.
So I want to know. Like, chat, let me know in the comments, because we can't really bet bits or anything like that over here on BOL 2. Who do you guys think are going to win? I can't believe the person named Blue Esports Blue says Blue Esports is going to win. But I mean, I've got 2 for Blue in the chat, so they're with me, Narco. I'm sorry.
Oh gosh, yeah, I feel like chat may be a little bit biased one way or the other. They may not be employing their best understanding of the metagame to extrapolate the highest likelihood for victory for one side or the other. But hey, it's not like we were doing much better than they are.
This is the scene in Spider-Man where they're like, "Careful, he's a hero," and they're like carrying him out of the subway with Blue Esports. He's the people's champion is Blue Esports right now, and that's what we all want to see. That being said, we are going to stop on a quick break while we wait for the rest of spectator delay to go by. Any last words, Narco, before the game starts?
Any last words? It's like I'm about to be killed here. No, I'm just really excited to see this matchup. As Phenomics said, we're going to be throwing you to a quick break, but don't go anywhere. This is going to for sure be a banger. Welcome back, everyone, to the Blue Otter League. We are here with the mid-season tournament. The fight is going down between Blue Esports Fire and the UCF Lancers. As we see it invade begin on the top side of the map. This is going to be Argo the Ratus trying to dash away. Cleaver coming through to slow him down, but I think he'll be getting out with his bacon intact.
Yeah, no, I mean, starting with E, it's the way to go. It's the safe start for Urgot. He would have been unstoppable if a CC would have came out, though he did use it a little early. It's just too easy to get away from that. But I do like the attempt. Like, obviously, you want to be aggressive in best of ones.
Yeah, and we see the side of UCF Lancers actually continue to push forward with that invade. They get a ward down onto the red buff for Blue Esports Fire, and that just means that they're going to have a little bit more knowledge about where Urtusai is going to begin. That being said, we've been seeing this consistent start on the bot side of the map for Blue Esports Fire in every game on stream so far. It isn't going to change here. A double bot lane start for the third time.
Yeah, I mean, so should get some action in the top lane early. Who do you think wins that early fight between Urgot and Xin against Mundo and Viega?
I would have to give it over to Blue Esports there with Argo and Urtusai on the Urgot and Xin Zhao respectively. I just think they have a lot more kill pressure. Unless Hito is able to get a ton of poke down onto the Urgot with his cleavers early, I just don't really see a ton of kill pressure coming through. Man, that Mantra Q slowing down Snazzy quite a bit there. But the good news, if you are a UCF fan, is that even though the Sona is going to be forced to play passively and will be bullied heavily due to her small health bar, the fact of the matter is that they are able to heal through a lot of this poke. And so even though they're giving up a lot of priority, they're a very durable lane at the end of the day, as long as Sona doesn't run out of mana.
Yeah, no, it is a completely, like, sturdy lane down there. I think the only thing that I don't like about the side of Blue on this one is that we started 3 pots and a longsword. I think I would have preferred boots and 4 pots.
Boots and 4 pots is definitely a start we've been seeing pretty frequently on the Jhin here, especially because you see so many of them going for that rush into the Boots of Swiftness early. Getting that as an early back just allows for them to chase and kite super well here. But at the same time, you do need a little bit of attack damage in my opinion, especially because you want to push the issue of getting up in CS to the degree to which you're looking to do so with the Karma on your side here.
Mm-hmm. There was a little bit of a tizzy topside. We had a good fight there for a moment. Mundo passive was burned for a second. It should be back before anything crazy happens, but it looks like we might be having an invade on Viego right now.
Yeah, we'll see how this goes right now. Zinny Z is trying to take down that Scuttle Crab, and Mr. Topnapun is going to work as the zoner here as we see the rotation up from Lighthearted on the Ahri as well. That's ultimately just going to lead to that crab falling to the side of Blue Esports Fire, but not much else.
Vision control. It's all about vision control.
Vision control. And we are seeing Blue Esports Fire really being effective with the way that they place their wards. We see the whole of this topside river already lit up in their favor here. This obviously means that like maybe some approaches from the bot side may be a bit dangerous, especially with Bard jungle only going to kind of path in that direction after going for their own full clear. But at the same time, Blue Esports really know what neutral objectives they want to grab way before they spawn, and they're able to get a lot of priority over the lanes that will then rotate up and grab that if it need be. We are about a minute out before this dragon is going to spawn on the bot side of the map. Ooh. And so the question will be whether or not Rhaegar the Knoll and Austrius will be able to grab a big wave and push that in order to rotate up, or if we'll be seeing Lighthearted kind of being the focal point on the side of the UCF Lancers and just kind of rotate down, grab it with the help of our jungle only.
Yeah, and also in the top lane right now, Mundo just sort of going where he pleased for a moment. That early roam to make sure that the bot scuttle went over to the side of Blue Esports sort of hurt him in the long run. He ended up a level down, and this dragon is going to go to UCF with no issue at all.
Yeah, very easy pickup here. The fact that we see Austrius and Rhaegar the Knoll kind of leave lane means that in turn Snazzy and Steel Thief are able to kind of work alongside their jungler and mid laner to grab that one real quick, like Mr. Topnapun getting a wave pushed in, getting a bit of poke down onto Ahri. But for the time being, this is a relatively peaceful game.
Yeah, we're just sort of hanging out right now. We're just doing the CS thing.
Yeah, the CS thing to be sure here. Do you kind of want to see some action, especially around this bot, though? I really think that this is a lane in which Austrius and Rhaegar the Knoll should be up more CS than they currently are. The Sona is just really, really unable to do much of anything before this tier gets stacked and they're able to face roll their abilities. You just got to look for poke when necessary. You want to take these turret plates and just try to snowball to make sure that this Jinx isn't able to catch up and eventually outscale the Jhin.
Yeah, and I mean, we're looking at it right now, and I'm wondering if they're playing not as aggressively, if only because they don't want to misplay, right? Like, earlier in the last game, they had some issues with dying early to Jinx, which didn't hemorrhage too badly. They did curtail it and turn it away after a minute, but I still think that that's in the back of their minds, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And we are seeing a little bit of a catch out top side. That is just going to be the blast plant hint, though. Bard jungle only going to be able to hop back into the loving arms of Hito and that tier 1 tower. So no real big drama going through on either side. And given the fact that both junglers are basically synced in their backs, I think that what we're going to be seeing is a lot of counter ganks and a lot of counter jungling coming through right now. It just becomes a matter of, can they continue to catch each other in these lanes and prevent engages from going on? And the time at which one person gets significantly behind the other in their clear speed will be the defining factor in when you could finally see Viego or Xin Zhao get a successful gank off without this return.
Yeah, and we'll see. I don't know. I'm sorry. I've been thinking about this top lane for a second. I don't know if you know or not, but Mundo passive stops the second part of Urgot's ultimate.
Ooh, that's definitely something rough to see. Maybe you can get it out, especially in a team fight setting with the utilization of Karma W or the like, but that will be worrisome going into this 1v1 matchup. Argo the Radis really going to have to watch out for that. He'll be lacking a little bit of kill pressure there because you pointed that out, Feedonomics.
Well, and you actually, like, so the way that you play around that is you pop it with your dash. But then you don't flip.
Yeah, then you don't get your engage tool, yeah.
Yeah, then you don't get your flip and slow. And that's kind of, like I said, that's another issue in this top lane for him. I still think that Urgot is a good sort of pick for the comp. And like, it's just that part isn't going to be as strong. I don't think that he's going to be unable to get a solo kill.
Yeah, it's definitely possible, but I mean, Mundo is excessively tanky as a champion, has the grasp of the Undying as well in order to continue to go for these kind of like staccato trades that will give him a little bit of health each time. Meanwhile, mid lane, though, I'm pretty surprised with what's going on there without intervention. We're seeing Mr. Topnapun on the Kassadin really kind of bullying the Ahri down. Pretty large CS lead beginning to develop there for that champion, and that is what you want to see if you're on Blue Esports side, as this will just kind of put an expedited approach onto this mid game for their team.
Yeah, and, you know, like I said, Mundo... Hito playing Mundo very well by making sure that he's not going to be in the situation on where the passive isn't proc. 2, 3.
Yeah, and here's the approach coming through. Ultimate already being dropped by Argo the Radis. Irosai coming through, going to drop an ultimate of his own. This Mundo's so tanky, he's going to flash back towards the tower, and they will not be able to finish the job. It stays at 0-0 here in this semifinal game.
Yeah, you maybe would have wanted to ult a little later if you're on Argo that time, but I still like the play. I like the fact that you forced the summoner, though it looks like Bard Jungle is going to go in and maybe attempt a gank, but nah, he's going to say that maybe the... He hasn't made up his mind yet. I'll get back to you guys here in a minute. But it looks like he's going to go for the Gromp maybe, but I think that Kassadin got spotted out.
Yeah, we see Mr. Topnapun kind of rotating down into the area. They don't spot the Viego coming up, so that must mean that they're looking for an invader just hovering around this bot side of the map. So this is a pretty safe call by the side of Blue Esports Fire. They're just going to ensure that there isn't a big collapse onto either of the lanes here, and I really like how things are being set up.
Yeah, we'll see if either team tries to go for the Hextech Drake here in the next minute or so, because we have so much posturing around it. It looks like maybe a collapse.
Yeah, for the time being, I think that things are going to stay relatively stable here in all of the lanes. Now the fact that Mr. Topnapun is kind of cresting here at level 9, really beginning to build up a lot of their items and just able to gain priority where need be. I think that this may be a difficult fight for either team, but we are seeing a pretty large rotation up to try to get this Kassadin maybe shut down. But once again, that vision control we've been talking about for Blue Esports Fire really kind of coming in clutch here.
Kassadin.
They are able to rotate when need be. All right, W coming through. Austria's gonna have to flash out of that one.
Yeah, I don't know if I like going for the pink ward that hard.
Yeah, he's kind of taking the pink ward right now. That's their W forward, and there's Curtain Call coming through. A lot of damage being pumped down onto this mid laner, and the first kill is going to go over to the side of the UCF Lancers here. They will also try to start up this Drake, but we are seeing a rotation through for the rest of the 3 players. Bot side jumping in, ear to side, trying to get something done against Snazzy here, who's going to kite backwards. Bard Jungle only having to flash as well. W coming out lighthearted, is going to be able to move out of the way though, and we see kind of a stalemate form around that Hextech Drake. Meanwhile, top side of the map, Hito pushing into Argo the Radis.
Yeah, just kind of going back and forth here a little bit. It's hard to keep up sometimes. There were a lot of flashes burned over there at that dragon fight. I like I was saying earlier, I don't think that going for that pink ward was the way to go about it.
Yeah, that was pretty disastrous for Topnapun here. We see the Hextech Drake, though, ultimately get picked up by the side of Blue Esports Fire, equalizing the score over there. But that one kill is going to accelerate the gold a little bit in favor of UCF Lancers.
Just waiting for my next little bit of action now. Like I said, we've just sort of got our slap fights going on in the top lane, and whatnot. Though we do have some action. Yeah, that's it's an easy kill in the bot lane, no issue at all.
Yeah, I think I might be a little bit behind. I think the kill is coming through about now for me here, as we see Snazzy go forward, drop that Q, but I think that Karma W is going to allow for a route and approach by Irdosai, who's going to be able to clean that one up, all nice and clever, like Rhaegar the Null, going to be able to trade a kill back. That is 1-1.
Yeah, so there we go. We got blue sort of picking their way back in. Jin is definitely a carry that you'd like to see get ahead. Get some kills on Jin. I do enjoy that. And we are suffering a little bit of technical difficulties, but we can make this work in a second, guys. Everything should be honkadory here in a moment.
Yeah, I was definitely desynced from the game, unfortunately, so I'm jumping over to the other stream now, and we are caught all back up. I don't think I missed a whole lot there in that gap of time here. Things standing about even for both teams.
You missed the dream. Oh, speaking of the dream team, trying another gank attempt on mid lane, but you know, Ari's a little too slippery for that.
Yeah, that maneuverability really coming through here, not even having to expend that flash. That is just going to be that spirit rush utilized for them to jump back towards their tower here. Austrius and Rhaegar the Knoll clearing out this vision bot side. It's about what you would expect.
Yeah, and I mean, really now we should see a bunch of action around the Drakes, because that's an Infernal Soul that people are going to be playing for. And
yeah,
he doesn't
Infernal
love
for
free
sure.
death taps.
Yeah, that Infernal is really going to be valuable for either team here. The fact that you have Snazzy on the Sona means that you really want to front load damage and just sustain through fights, and the Infernal Drake will be really valuable in the side of UCF Lancers doing so. But at the same time, your side, Mr. Topnapun, two champions that really also benefit from this Drake here. The Xin Zhao wants to be able to have a little bit more viability in the late game, and this is one of the ways that can happen. And meanwhile, Kassadin just going to further push towards those huge crests in power that will allow for them to really dominate this game. Look at that CS score, by the way. Highest on the map besides the Dr. Mundo, and frankly, that gold a little bit more valuable there on to Mr. Topnapun than Hito.
Yeah, and it looks like, I mean, Everfrost into Arcana's Staff is going to be his build. Just you want as much mana on Kassadin as you can get, right? So I like it. We'll see what happens. I want to see some action. I want to see blue take an attempt somewhere, but it looks like, oh well, there it is.
Yeah, there's the Everfrost coming through, but those heals really coming in clutch for the side of UCF Lancers here. They want more. Those Sona ultimate being dropped, though, and getting a temporary stun down, but Xin Zhao is undeterred, going to continue to jump forward. The Sona down, but Mundo is in the area. Hito trying to get damage in where he can. He will be able to get the kill down onto Irdasai now, and the rest of UCF is going to continue to power forward. A double kill for that top laner, and meanwhile, this Kassadin's a little bit of trouble as this Viego at full health is just going to wrap around the far side, drop that Rift Herald, and really threaten this mid laner at such low health.
Yeah, I mean, but a really good job on the side of Mr. Toppin to make sure that he stayed away from dying to the Viego there that time, hitting the blast plant at a key moment. But it looks like another Drake is going to get secured down on the side of UCF.
Yeah, we see them clustering around, not really a big way for the side of blue to kind of come in here, but it looks like they are ready and willing to at least try something. Kassadin going to come forward here off of that teleport, flash into Everfrost. That's a lot of damage being put down onto the Viego, and that will be one kill picked up for the side of Blue Esports Fire. Meanwhile, top lane, holy cow, Hito utilizing that gold to the best of his ability, gonna get that solo kill down onto the Urgot.
Yeah, I mean, Sunfire already finished, and Hullbreaker on the side of Urgot, so mythic item versus not mythic item, and being innately, like, tankier, already having 2 kills, sitting on your anti-heal. So, like, I can see where the Urgot is not going to win that fight. But we'll have to see what goes on, how we're gonna stabilize if we're on the side of blue. Though gold still in their favor.
Yeah, it is only 1 kill over to the side of the UCF Lancers here. And it looks like we have lost our caster. Oh, Feedonomics, welcome back.
Hi, I don't know what happened there. I decided to run away for a moment, but I'm back now.
Wonderful, that is great to hear.
Because I care.
Yeah, and bringing along with him is the stream that I am desperately clinging on to.
Oh, it does look like we have a
yeah.
gate.
Yeah, big catch it down on the bottom side. Mr. Topnapin gonna void walk forward. Hito, the target of their ire, gonna try to trade one back, and Mr.
He
Topnapin
does.
super low. Huge rampage coming through, and the question, will Argo be able to finish the job here? This
Yes.
Mundo just taking so much punishment. He's eventually going to go down, and that is a lot of shutdown gold over to that Urgot. But that is a worrisome scenario right there. Mr. Topnapin just not at a level at which he's able to push forward and scare the team yet. UCF Lancers playing very confidently.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's more on the side of the Toppin doesn't quite have the damage yet for Mundo to be able to be afraid of him. Is what it feels like to me. He's sitting on his he's sitting on that Negatron or that Null Mantle. Probably gonna start heading into a Spirit Visage like next, and like just turns a bad situation into at least a salvageable one by getting that early kill. Almost got a double. Almost turned it around to being a double, but like luckily the passive was down if you're a Blue Esports fan, so the flip was able to upend and throw him over his shoulder.
Yeah, but 2 items on this Mundo now really scary. You have that Thornmail alongside the Sunfire in order to just kind of steamroll any fight that you're in. I know that a lot of people get worried when it's a high damage champion that really pulls far ahead because of their 1v9 potential, but you got to admit that such a tanky champion against other ones that haven't fully scaled up yet is going to be a real thorn in the side of Blue Esports here, as we see him go for yet another engage. Urgot trying to run away, but Mundo with those slows pretty darn tanky and able to dish out a lot of damage of his own, as I think that unfortunately we'll be seeing yet another solo kill go over to the side of UCF Lancers.
Yeah, no, Urgot needs to get tankier if he actually wants to be able to solo lane against him. The Tiamat just isn't the right purchase order, I don't think. I would have liked to have seen like a Glacial or something similar just to help him maybe be a little bit bigger in these scenarios. Like the fact that Mundo can hurt you just by standing by you with Sunfire Cape right now is too huge of a disadvantage for Urgot, because you can't path far enough away. Like you're too slow. You're too slow to actually be able to kite.
Yeah, and it's just kind of hard to collapse on a champion that is as tanky as Mundo is. Unfortunately, you just don't really have great rotation potential because Jin as well as Karma just kind of get melted, and Topnapun, as we kind of established earlier from that one engage, just simply isn't strong enough and may in fact lead to Mundo getting a 1-for-1 there if a fight breaks out.
Yeah, and Mundo's obviously going to be the raid boss that they have to break through if they're going to win this game. His CS is just ridiculous right now. I suppose Jin's isn't bad at the moment. And Jin did kind of build properly, like he went Lord Dominic second, so that he actually had some armor pin for Mundo. But until we're team fighting and he's trying to push through to the back line, then we're just sitting here waiting. Though it looks like we're gonna maybe be sitting on Soul Point for the side of UCF here in a second, unless we actually try to do something on the side of Blue, but it looks like they're gonna take the mid turret instead.
Yeah, right now I don't really see a contest station being super viable for the side of Blue Esports. Sure, it would be a 4v4 without the Mundo in the picture, but you're starting to really see some of the other champions pick up steam on the side of the UCF Lancers here. Sona gonna have just so much sustain, and I think that you really need the 5-man burst potential that the Urgot brings to the party here to really have a chance at a victory in a team fight for Blue Esports Fire.
Yeah, that I do agree with. We'll see. Like I said, we'll see what ends up happening. We're just all witnesses here at the moment as Hito is just gonna push up into the top lane. Maybe we are gonna get some action here, but I don't think that they know. Oh, this might be bad.
Yeah, Bard Jungle only wrapping around this far side of the Baron Pit alongside most of the UCF Lancers. They're looking for a play here that will give them the Baron and a quick victory. The question is now whether or not Blue Esports Fire will be able to either turn an engage around or find a pick of their own. We see how heavily the hover is coming through for the Lancers here around this objective. They clearly want to force this, and now in turn they're able to just kind of siege towers with their push advantages that they get either top side or in the mid lane. A lot of catching to be done by Blue Esports Fire here. They're really gonna have to play this out very carefully, rotate when necessary, and try to grab back a bit of vision control.
Yeah, no arguments there. They are gonna do their best to try and maybe get vision in their jungle, but it does look like we're gonna have another gank attempt on top lane in a moment. I would be worried if I was Argo.
Yeah, there we see the claps beginning for the side of the UCF Lancers. They want to take down this top side turret and contest the Urgot while doing so. The rotation is coming through. Cassidy is backing from that bottom lane, so we maybe will see them kind of like meet and catch this wave topside, but in turn UCF Lancers really in the driver's seat on this one. They're able to back now pretty uncontested. They picked up a tower for basically free, and now they're going to look to needle another lane away.
Yeah, I mean, why not just divide and conquer? We're gonna go back down and we're just gonna put the game into segments, and just break it down by objectives and then break it down by towers. And we're going to slowly whittle away. We have too much of an advantage right now with how big our Mundo is. Because, I mean, look at the gold that Mundo has on him, right? Like, that's terrifying. He has 5 of their kills.
Yeah.
Out of their 7, he is the raid boss that they have to worry about. He has 3 completed items at this point, 25 minutes into the game.
And he's been basically able to farm uncontested. Whatever lane he is in is the lane that is pushing with basically no recourse for Blue Esports Fire, which means that now that you're on the Spirit Visage, you are so far ahead that you're able to kind of take a break from playing the solo lane game. Oh, that is a big engage coming through, though. Karma caught out a little bit too deep, is going to try to turn this around with the help of Irosai, but a kill first going to go through for the Jinx now, as we see Irosai also getting turned around all which way. Ari finally coming back up to join their comrades here, and that will be 3 dead on the side of Blue Esports Fire. In turn, a Baron started up for UCF Lancers. Things looking kind of dark right here.
Yeah, it's I mean, that's a free Baron on their side. There's not really much that you can do if you're casting an Urgot on the side of Blue Esports. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, just Mundo's kind of way ahead of the pack in regards to items and everything like that. I'm curious on what the pickaxe is going to become. I guess technically it becomes like a hull breaker, but that feels really late. It's probably... Oh, that was a pretty good flank on Mr. Toppin's part.
Yeah, Tomnapun trying to go for something here. A shutdown finally coming through for the side of Blue Esports, but Curtain Call is going to be answered by a big push forward from the side of UCF Lancers. We see this unfearing approach, but that is a good flip coming through.
There we go, he's dead.
Here, and there's the shutdown. The Mundo is dead. The raid boss is gone. This will be the chance that Blue Esports needs to reassert themselves on the map. We're about a minute before, or no, less than that. We're about 15 seconds before this next dragon spawn.
We have to get to dragon right now for Blue Esports to make a play. There's not really much other... There's not another action that you can kind of take. You have to sit there and stop them from getting Dragon Soul. Infernal would be way too scary with how big the Mundo is.
Yeah, and we are seeing them start this one up. Mundo has a long ways to go. That will be a dragon going over to Blue Esports side. They will staunch the bleeding of these neutral objectives for the time being, but still so much gold over on a lot of these champions, and the free kills that they've been giving up, especially in that Fracas on the top side of the map, is not helping their case at all. They're going to have to play quite safely and just go for picks if they want to come out of this one.
Yeah, and I mean the last time it was a really good focus on Mundo and everything. It did take him down. That's what they're gonna have to do every time, and it's just like it's gonna get harder and harder as the game goes on. And it was that makes more sense. It's gonna be one of the Tiamat items, and it's gonna be Titanic. What, Hydra? No, the other one. Ravenous. Yeah, no, I was right. We're good. We're good here. Give myself my own thought check here. So yeah, that'll be a Titanic Hydra on the side of Mundo too, and that once that's done, Narco, what do you do?
Oh, if you're on the side of Blue Esports, you look for picks like this one on the bot side of the map. The Jinx
really
running for the
good
hills,
pick.
but has nowhere to go. The Kassadin really coming into their own here. The burst damage not quite there, but the ability to give chase against some of these squishies will allow for some more kills to go over to the side of Blue Esports. This may be their ticket forwards.
Yeah, and we're almost there. We're almost to critical mass on Kassadin. We're almost to critical Cass, as one would like to call it. He is almost level 16, so he'll be able to bounce around. He does have a lot of farm, like so does Jin. Their team is a little bit more balanced on their gold distribution. The issue that you have over on the side of UCF right now is if Mundo does fall and they don't get any good picks in the fight, then it kind of proves to be problematic for the side of UCF, because afterwards the rest of their team will fold.
We do see that right now Kassadin has had to defer to relatively defensive items early, though, and in turn his damage output is not quite there just yet. We had that Seraph's Embrace completed that will help, especially with the mana issues that Kassadin also often faces, but the fact that they had to go for that Zanya's Hourglass means they're a little bit put off of their damage right now. Still a big threat, don't get me wrong, but you need a little bit more scaling to come through for Blue Esports for them to really begin to contest once more.
Yeah, that I don't disagree with. I was more saying that he's 16 now.
Oh yeah.
Like so we are at critical cast as far as like I can Q all the time now. I have my really good flash spell.
Yeah, we'll see if that translates. Yeah, we'll see if that translates into a play here around the map. Right now, yeah, everyone's just kind of feeling each other out right now. We do see the Urgot really beginning to front line, but the Mundo in turn is just so much bigger right now. So whenever he's in the picture, I think that as we see there, Blue Esports just kind of has to peel off. No neutral objectives up quite yet. The Baron will be the next one on the chopping block, and that may be a defining feature of the game if it goes into the hand of the UCF Lancers once more, just because you already are beginning to see a lot of towers knocked down on the side of Blue Esports.
Yeah, they are just kind of tumbling and falling. What do we got? How much longer until the next Baron buff? Probably. I mean, it's getting there. We'll have it in the next couple of minutes or so. So maybe we'll have another contested fight.
Yeah, we have it in about a minute right now.
So we'll see. Like if Mr. Topping can get another good flank onto Sona or onto Jinx and get a quick pick, then Blue Esports definitely is in business.
Yeah, but for the time being, we are seeing them really join in the front-to-back fashion here. Kassadin is sticking with the team right now. Maybe there could be a rotation up to the Viego, but I think that they want to just focus on making sure that this next dragon that's also about to be up will not fall into the hands of the UCF Lancers once again. But we're in this kind of dire situation where in milling around and getting this vision, you see UCF Lancers just push through towards the mid lane, and they're going to look to take down an inhib here. Rotation coming back through. This is the fight that I think both teams are looking to force, and the question is, will this execution come through for Blue Esports now? There's the ultimate dropped and the approach coming through from the side. Viego, yeah, having to run back around, and that will be Sona ulti into the back line right now. But I think that so far things are being split pretty darn evenly until Stealthy pops up. That is going to be a Jinx going excited. Hito getting a kill of their own, but that double up onto the Jinx means that they're able to just ravage the base of Blue Esports. Unfortunately, the Cinderella run will end here.
Yeah, I wanted to see it. Chat wanted to see it. Narco is a traitor. But there you have it. We do have our championship match, at least on our side of the bracket. I haven't looked to see if Blue Otter League game is over on BOL 1. But it does look like the championship is going to be UCF either against CB Ruby or what's the other team name, Narco? I know you like them a lot.
CB Ruby and Dragonclaw Cloud.
Yeah, see,
and hey, don't reveal my biases.
Why not? You were picking on mine. I'm allowed
I guess
to.
that's true. I guess that's true. But I was also equally biased towards Blue Esports. Come on, man. Like, I'm
I,
also sad to see this happen. But at the end of the day, UCF Lancers were the better team. They played the better game. That Mundo, truly massive right there. Hito, my MVP for sure.
oh, absolutely. Like you can't do anything to a Mundo when they have like 3 items and your top laner only has Hullbreaker. Um, I think that there maybe was some purchasing issues on the side of Urgot that game. I don't know if I would have gone Hullbreaker into Hydra, especially with how well Hito was playing piloting the champion.
Hmm.
It's just there was a big goal difference there. Like it's what 4,400 difference right now, and that's yeah. I mean that's the 2 items that they were missing. Also only looks like okay. There are 3 people with heel cut on the side of Blue Esports, so I'm less worried about that. I think Lord Dominic's was the way to go. There's no way the Grievous would have been the better pick. And Mr. Toppin just never, like you were saying, he never had a chance to buy his Oblivion Orb so that he could cut into damage. So, hats off to UCF. They played a good game. Like Mundo was very big in that game. I'm sad to see it. I'm sad to see it go.
Yeah. And so, for those of you just tuning in, this will be the closing moments of our broadcast here on Blue Otter League 2. We will, in fact, see Blue Otter League 1 cast this finals. UCF coming through on our side, making it past this Cinderella story of Blue Esports to get on our side of the bracket to the finals here. And the question is now, will it be CB Ruby or Dragonclaw Cloud making their way up to contest in this 4th game?
Yeah, I will. We'll see what happens. We have to have somebody like avenge Blue Esports, right? Like that's the only that's the new that's basically the new push for my storyline. It's the anime arc where you have to avenge your friend.
Sure. Well, we will cast it as such. Well, I think that'll do it for us here in the Blue Otter League, at least in the Platinum Series for broadcast number 2. I'm Nyarko. I was here in the booth today with Feedonomics, carrying that broadcast, streaming the game to me and whatnot. Thank you so much for that being the case. And shout out to Laggy Sun there in the production booth, making sure that this all ran smoothly.
Yeah, we appreciate it, guys. Please go show your support to Blue Otter League 1 for the championship game. Root on whoever you want. Like I'm rooting for not UCF. Nothing against UCF. They just ended my dream and my heart is hurt. So, I need a second. I don't know if you need as much of a second as me, Narco. But like I said, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you all have a great night. Tune into the other stream. Watch this mid-season tournament conclude. I'm definitely gonna go over there in a minute and just cause havoc because havoc's fun.